Check. Check one. All right. Almost there. All right, we're heading up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwiide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., 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 etc. I'm going to jump straight into the chat room. Look at that. Oh, it's noisy. Look at that. The little sound effects are going. I just want to make sure that the chat is showing. Oh, that's not bad. It could be a little bigger, though. I do think so. Yeah. Let me see if I can remedy that as you do. It's a pretty darn good thing. It's pretty big. Okay, we'll see. All right, let me see. I can do this and see if I can turn it this way for one. Excellent. And then, I think it should be all right. And then I got to unlock it so I can move it a little. There you go. I love tweaking stuff live on the air. You know what I'm saying? There's this. Okay. And then we'll stretch it out a little bit. Why not? How about that? Like that. And then drag it over here. And then, no, not half bad. All right. Then we can see some people. Hello. Good to see you. Not half bad. All right. Some of them are a little large. A lot of redacted ones. Thanks. The Epstein files are completely redacted. Thanks for that redaction. Happy Epstein file day to all who celebrate. I got to tell you, kids, our lovely and talented Can't Stop Lion, he sent me I went to one link that I had, Thank you for the super chat. And I got in, pretty. Oh, it's Francis. Hi. Thank you so much. Happy Friday to you as well. And please come back on the show sometime soon. You and Driftglass, I insist. Anyways, well, shit. Let me just show you. Like, why even dick around with this? So couple of things. Let me back up because, yeah. So this is what you will see when you first go there, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. All right. Doi. Um, you are now in line. You have less than 1 minute of wait time to get back in here, and then it pops you in because there's such heavy traffic. Now, couple of things. This site houses the materials responsive under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which is now no longer an act; it's a law. I guess not just an. I guess not primarily. Yeah, whatever. The Epstein Files Transparency Law. I just would sound better. This site will be updated if additional documents are identified for release. Oh yeah, they will be. Also, some of the library's contracts and descriptions of sexual assault. As much, please be advised, they give you a trigger warning. Which I appreciate considering it's the Trump administration who doesn't seem to think trigger warnings are a thing, but whatever. Then they open up straight to search full Epstein library. Now, again, full should be in air quotes, but whatever. Okay. There's court records relating to this. There's DOJ disclosures under the, and this is releasable documents in possession of the Department of Justice. So this right here, I'm going to open that in a separate one. Should be, here you go. Epstein Transparency Act, Dataset 1. You can download all the files. Dataset 2, you can download. Well, let's do that. And let's do this. And let's do this. And let's do this. I'm downloading all 4 of the available files, datasets 1 through 4, in case at some point the website just goes down. You know what I mean? Because at some point we should be able to search through them. This way, I can load them up into one of the, like Gemini or one of the chats, the LLMs that I use, and let them go through it. So, but we'll start with dataset 1 files. There we go. And this is what you get. This is what you want. This is what you get. What they're trying to do is effectively bore everyone to tears. The reason it will be everything saved as a PDF, every individual file, and nothing is named based on context. So everything will be, there you go, this just kind of like a closet. There's this is a picture of a, hold on, this is a picture of a hallway, or a staircase rather. Like a lot of this is just nothing. Like it's literally meant to be nothing. And I would argue this is part of the strategy. Just flood the zone with stuff. And this is an evidence marker, okay? And you cannot flip through these things. You can't like cycle through those in the way that they have them on here. So his 2 refrigerators and a morgue-like setting in the kitchen with, yeah. And this is the rest of the kitchen at the official kitchen at one of the properties. None of these are registered. A lot of very medical looking spaces in the house or something. This is one of the, I don't know if this is one of the basements or something. Point being is that the purpose of this is to just store all, these are all the photos released, they photographed the entire building when they went through there. Now, some of this stuff we'll pick apart. Some of this stuff will be worthwhile because there were, in the pictures that were taken, and some, oh look, it's, now we know where Trump gets his aesthetic from. Some of the stuff that's going to be in here was taken during the raid of the property. And let me see if I can shrink this down. This might, I know what I'm going to do. I'll take this down on here, and then I'll move this up here, and shrink it down like this. Maybe like that. There you go. Hey, that was better. And so when they raided the property, they just took pictures of everything as they were walking through. And we've seen some of these things before. You're going to see a ton of this stuff. Now, again, during this raid, during Trump's first term of the property, there was evidence that was pictured in there. We've seen a lot of this shit before. But there was evidence that was present in some of these pictures. See, this is their evidence marker area, I think, where they're blasting this stuff out. Hold on each section. Like this is section G or whatever. And so they take a picture of the whole place, what it looked like as they went in. All this in the future will be done by little flying drones. But in this particular case, here's some clothes he wore. And there's a cedar closet and a little book, or like those little IKEA shoe holders. And yeah, basically just mapping out the entire property. Okay, you'll see a bunch of that. Okay. Then at some point, and we'll look through this, it'll be a bit before anybody can get through. Yeah, the list of books, whatever. Let's see if the next one over. Yeah, this is so weird. Inside, he's got an outdoor table with an umbrella. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but whatever. Point being is, they took pictures of the interior of Epstein's office, okay, with his safe open, allegedly, during this thing. And this might be the area where we can get closer to it. This is section L. And as they took those pictures in his office, they opened up the safe, which I believe they cut into. And there should be images of the safe itself. And there's M. Okay, so that really not much. Yeah. So here's his office. There's not a lot of detail photos in it either. It's more like the broad ones. Okay, so probably data set 2 might be more of that stuff. There's more dental stuff, whatever, that fetish of his. He's got a terracotta warrior, and then allegedly a naked painting where they redacted who was in it, or a photograph. I think it's a painting, but they redacted the artwork, which is always funny. I mean, come on. How many pictures did they take? How many? Yeah, it's a lot of overlap, a lot of repeated pictures. Anyways, the point being is that somewhere in this stuff is a picture of his safe, and in his safe was pictures and video allegedly of Trump. Yeah, this is a, I mean, and again, there'll be people who go through this with a fine-tooth comb and find wonky things that they find, that they have been looking for, or attachments here, as opposed to just pictures that look like they were taken from The Shining. But that's what this is like. That's why they're doing this. This is they're trying to flood the zone with bullshit again. And obviously, I think the one big picture that people have spotted early, and I have no doubt that the arrangement of the files, one of the things that Trump's White House clearly was seeking to do was take the files and move some to the front of the line that, don't do it in order. Put stuff that should be, that was found later, put it in the front because it's a picture of Bill Clinton in a pool. I think that's the one thing that people have jumped on so far, with maybe Ghislaine, Maxwell in the pool with him. Yeah, this is all going to be just the space. Okay, so that's data set 1. And let's see, first phase of declassified files, the DOJ release, evidence list from USV Maxwell, flight log from USV Maxwell, contact book redacted, masseuse list redacted. Now, the masseuse list is going to be like this. I mean, this is, of course, it's going to be all blacked out. But there are 254 masseuses listed in the case against Ghislaine Maxwell. Redacted to protect potential victim information is what it says. And I understand that that seems to be a reality. That would absolutely be the case. The curious part is this business. So this is his or her version of the person book. This is 2004 to 2005. Where, by the way, Trump's name will still be in here, even though they allegedly didn't hang out anymore. Peter Barnes, there you go. This is so, it's interesting to me. Like Jean-Luc Brunel is circled in this as important. There'll be a few of them like that. I'm sure that will stand out. Let's see, it's Bill Clinton in here because there's a CHC. Clemson. Nope. All right. He was out of the book by then, apparently. Dunbar Johnson, Evington Charlie. Okay, so these are like, there aren't going to be any details in here except the names, which I think will have some value over time, and people will no doubt comb through those, right? So then there's the flight log stuff. We've seen a bunch of these before. This looks like a higher res version, but only, yeah, no, okay. So this is the version that we saw from Pam Bondi that came out, where they were the worst copies you have ever seen. And this is like, we've seen better copies of these, but it's almost like specifically anywhere Trump might be, suddenly it gets like somebody went over it with an eraser. Yeah. But again, going through these, there will be primary list of things. Now we've gone through this one too. This was the evidence list, and in that there's a bunch of stuff like one red rope containing a VHS tape, 2 cassette tapes, 4 micro cassette tapes. Okay, there's not going to be any child porn on a micro cassette tape or on a cassette tape. VHSs and maybe CDs, like rewritable CDs, might have stuff like that, which is what they'll use as an excuse not to release it. But there's a banker's box containing the case materials. Let's see. One red rope containing highly confidential response material to include nude and semi-nude images and videos from digital evidence items processed by CART. A box containing 10 yearbooks, blah, blah, blah. So there's a bunch of this kind of stuff in there. We went through this, but ultimately it was like the thumb drives that are in there, that kind of stuff. That's what I think a lot of people are, let's see, this is the raw video. Okay. Yeah. So this is the 10 hours and 52 minutes of which I believe is a lie. This is still the edited version of it, not enhanced. And again, doesn't like this. You can't even see the staircase. It's the only camera in the place. It's ridiculous that's in there. This is the enhanced video. This is what they released, which was just I guess they raised the brightness over here, which would take away the detail of faces in that. Videos per hour, which is the same video broken down in hour segments. So, just fucking whatever. The Maxwell proffer, which is what she gave in exchange for possibly getting a deal. Day 1, part 1, 7/24/25. This is okay. So this is her. This is the interview transcript between her and Todd Blanche, and the recordings of all of them. That's useful. That's something I think people can go through. And interesting that they refer to it as a proffer. Correspondence, okay, OIG statement, attorney letter from Pam Bondi and Director Prakash Patel. This is the 227 one. This is where they, I'm sure, sent a letter going, "We want everything. Give it to us." And then when they got it, they're like, "Oh, you can keep it. Thank you." And then, all right. So here's the Epstein files. That's data set 1, data set 2. Let's just see where this ballpark is. Okay, this is the one with him in it. Okay, so the first one, apparently the data set is pictures of his property, and then these will be him with other people that are currently in these things. So again, him and, oh, this is them in China getting a terracotta warrior. They're probably the one we saw. There's, yeah, this is like vacation snaps. Just literally flooding the zone with crap. And like some of these people we're not going to know until somebody identifies them. There's Bill Clinton in a Chinese shirt. Same trip. There they are all together. Lots of, yeah, okay. So they front loaded a lot of these pictures with Clinton. Oops, I can do this. Of course. Why wouldn't she be wearing a flight suit standing next to a cow? The yeah, these are like, again, these will be stuff where people will pile through. I saw this guy too earlier. That's, I want to say that's supposedly at the Vatican when they were there. Yeah, they're just dumping pictures in this in an attempt to just water it down. And the problem they have is that everything's got to be in here by law. So people are going to are going to go through all this stuff. And I don't know what she's feeding her dog there. This is going to be everybody's weekend. I'm just going to put it that way. And the other thing is that there's, look at this. I mean, if anything should sum this all up. I'm just saying. If anything sums this up, it's this one. It's literally a file included in this that says no images produced. It's literally not even redacted. It's just an empty PDF in this. And there, at some point there's going to have to be like a track of, who was in this. Let's see, and you could search the files, but there was nothing searchable in them per se. Right? It's just like magazine shoots of him, people sleeping on his plane so that he can prove that they were there. Great Wall of China. Okay, so this is like all from one big trip to China. So that's how he got close to Clinton at this one point, was that they were doing this trip to China. There's Chris Tucker, right? That's the whole, yeah. That's him with a cake shaped like tits. He's apparently staring at cake tits while he's talking on the phone. Also, and so he was never in the army, insofar as I know. Obviously, he's a replicant. That's why his eyes were red. And I mean, this will be, the flip through in this situation. I downloaded all these files, so it will be easier for us to just flip through them that way. But this is from his notorious dinner parties, at the very least, where he would invite scientists and other people to have dinner at his place or at the island or whatever, and make everybody think he knew what the fuck he was talking about. These are obviously people he had roofied. They were seeing the Stones, I'm guessing. Went to see the Stones. It's Fergie with one of the girls. That's a guy dancing in drag, okay, at a bar or something. Might have been, yeah. Yeah. I'm fairly certain that it looks like Michael Bolton, but it isn't. And apparently they took a lot of snaps of this dude. And then there's him trying to coax a dog. And there's Ghislaine Maxwell flying a plane because she was a pilot. That was one of the way they got around all these things. Yeah, more holiday snaps. I'm just flipping through some of these things. Let me see if in a moment, yeah, all these this thing. So you can see where they are. The whole goal of this thing is basically just to flood it with pictures. You're probably, and bury the stuff that's, specific to this. And everybody's it's going to take them a while to comb through all of it and realize that there's stuff missing. I do think the Maxwell proffer is crucial to all this, like their entire conversations, if it's indeed true. Let's see, it is the redacted, of course. So that means they're going to be blanked out of here too. This is the signed Maxwell proffer agreement. This is not a cooperation agreement. Oh, no shit. With respect to the meeting of Ghislaine Maxwell, client and his attorney David Oscar, with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to be held at the Office of the United States Attorney for the Northern District of Florida. The meeting, the following understanding exists. This is not a cooperation agreement. The client has agreed to provide the government with information and to respond to questions so the government may evaluate client's information responses in making prosecution decisions. By receiving the client's proffer, the government does not agree to make a motion on the client's behalf or to enter. Okay, yeah, they're not agreeing to it already. In any prosecution brought against client by this department, except as provided below, the government will not offer an evidence on its case in chief or any connection. Okay, so you can't. In the proffer conversation, that's off the record effectively. This is fairly common. Notwithstanding item 2 above, and the government may use information derived directly or indirectly from the meeting for the purpose of obtaining leads to other evidence, which evidence may be used in any prosecution of client by the government. In any prosecution brought against the client, the government may use statements made by client at the meeting and all evidence obtained directly or indirectly there from the pursuit of cross-examination should the client testify, and the government may also use statements made by the client. Okay, this is fairly normal too. Basically, the idea is that if it was a full cooperation agreement, whatever they said would be they'd receive immunity for talking. She's not receiving immunity for talking because they couldn't even dare to offer it to her. And that said, they promised not to act on anything she said, but if in checking out what she said, they discovered other evidence that made it possible to put more charges against her or something along those lines. They would do that. Yeah, whatever. So, office may offer any use of the stage of criminal proceeding in a statement made by the client during the meeting, and all evidence obtained directly or indirectly, therefore, to the extent such as use is consistent with Section 402 of the First Step Act of 2018. Notice Trump signed his own get-out-of-jail-free card to protect anybody who wanted to, stand as, with evidence against him or might have stuff against him, is that they can hide shit and are duly protected by the First Step Act. To the extent the government is entitled under this agreement to offer in evidence any other statements, being like, if the department receives a request from another prosecutor's office for access to information obtained pursuant to this proffer agreement, the department may furnish such information, but will do so only on the condition of the requesting office honor the provisions of this agreement. It is further understood this agreement is limited to the statements made by the client at the meeting. It does not apply to any oral, written, or recorded statements made by the client at any other time. No, blah, blah, blah. Client and attorney acknowledge that they have full disclosure, and so she signed this thing. Okay. It's a standard proper for the most part.
Today's date is Thursday,
Jesus Christ,
July 24th. This will be the of a proffer agreement of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
From the Deputy Attorney General, DOJ. And
that's Don Jr. calling in.
Time is currently 9:16. Maxwell and counsel are arriving to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we will commence the proffer shortly.
Riveting. That's chapter 1. Part 2. There you go. We've heard bits of this this one's been redacted. There's an R in this one. So part 2, they got through stuff pretty reasonable. Part 4, they got through stuff, but they redacted elements of part 5, 6, and part 3, and day 2, part 1, part 2, part 4, and then day 2 testimony. I don't know.
Test.
God damn. Is it just me or shit? I appreciate the loudness. Sometimes we get audio in this that are. Why is I don't know why you can't adjust the volume on this. All right, so I will. Let's see. Can we download those as well? You'd think, right? Miranda and correspondence. Okay, so let me check something real quick. I'm gonna check my. Let's open up this. Data and images. Okay. Select all. Option. Whoops. Select all. And open with preview. We shall see. Oh dear. Nope. Stop it. Oh dear. Okay, at least it's opening in a window now. Okay. So this would be, here's, I'm going to slide this down. This would be a little better for what we're trying to look at, I think. Jump this down here. Item was not scanned. The 1B12, okay, that's just 3 images, right? And there's this part. Oh, look at this, blacked out. Grand jury testimony in New York. All of it's blacked out. That's one of the things. The entirety of it. The entirety of the grand jury testimony is completely blacked out. If you have to release it, if it's in the files, and we've already established that the grand jury testimony can be released, this is a violation of the law. This is so that's the grand jury testimony. That's the whole thing. And then next page up, here's it's end of the grand jury stuff. And then the proceedings of U.S. versus Maxwell in 7/8/20. This is, okay, wait, maybe this is, let the record reflect that there are 17. Okay, so here's the second part. They redacted a bunch of the grand jury stuff, but here's the other part of it. Okay. Or maybe they released a redacted and a non-redacted version? Okay. Finally, I will turn to the proposed indictment, Grand Jury Exhibit 4, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it's just the instructions of what the judge said. Or I guess what they came for. That was their, okay. So all the evidence is redacted, and what was said to them is like, hey, check out this evidence for the U.S. attorney. There are 17 grand jurors present. Good morning. My name is Sozo, and I'm an assistant United States attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Everybody hear me okay? I'm here today to present for your consideration proposed superseding indictment charging Ghislaine Maxwell in 6 counts. This indictment is virtually identical to the indictment that you returned last week, charging Maxwell in the same 6 counts, except that it corrects 2 clerical errors and 2 typographical errors that were contained in the counts. Okay, so that's, they redressed this. Okay, photo lineups. These are folders. Okay, this is a picture of him, and they put him up against other people. So all the victims, Palm Beach Police Department. So that's the photo lineup that they did back in the day with the girls. That's probably a picture to Jeffrey. That's more than likely a picture of Fergie. Redacted young girls in this situation. Let's see. See Sam not scanned. Some seems at the bottom of this one there is Yeah, developed film. Item was not scanned. So these are film negatives or whatever, and then there's fucking photocopies of film negatives. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, once upon a time there was a clueless little girl. How do I look? Okay, there's a bunch of upskirt photos that he posed. These are pictures taken These are just like pictures of girls and underage girls and women with their faces blacked out. That and grew. And I think I want to say that's the same picture series from when Ghislaine was at Andrew's place with Virginia Giuffre. Before and after, whenever drinking Czech milk in Prague. Him in Dubai, him in Berlin. We traveled. This is something like Maxwell put together. We fought. Yeah, this is something this is hers. These are her photos. That she had both with him and a bunch of other girls, and then happy 40th or whatever, 40 something. Okay, so those are looking for a way out. Pictures of topless girls or girls just in the tub. These are older pictures that he had. Polaroids. Now these are redacted. A lot of the ones that, yeah, look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll just say it. These are the pictures of Trump and the girls. There's no reason to black out the entirety of whatever these were. Michael Wolff talks about these Polaroids that they had of Trump getting a lap dance from these underage girls and them laughing at a stain on his pants. There's a woman. Yeah. So this is where it gets into like him with pictures with women and with girls. Blacked out. Now how much of it is blacked out is also very telling, obviously. I'm guessing, is this yeah, she's in a bikini. It's just whoever her head is. Okay, and these are kind of crucial too, because some of these, they took pictures of the back of the images so you could see when they were taken. The closest thing to metadata you'll get in a circumstance like this. Yep, unknown, somebody's fingerprint. So there is some stuff in this part of it that I think people will dig into. The redactions obviously will make a bunch of it hard, and it's also interesting when they're completely redacted. Look at this. And again, if the idea is it's just, let's see, this is, yeah, so he's in these pictures. This is not just as, Pam Bondi tries to present that it's somehow like bought child porn that he allegedly had. There are known victims in these photos. The question is, are they alone? That's a picture of some sort of model that's done for an architectural thing, and then someone, I believe, with a leg up and a leg down. And then, when they're like this is fucking ridiculous. This is what he paid all the FBI agents to do, which was, I think, and a lot of people are going to assume that anywhere where the entire picture is blocked out like this, it's Trump. Because by the law, unless they're hiding, because I'll show you why. Because see this is more than likely a victim, and you can see her upper body, her legs, her arms, where she's sitting, but her face is blacked out, which I think is important, like covered, okay? Here's another shot of the same person. she's in a bra and a bathing suit top, but you can see her arms and her upper chest. Her face is just blacked out. When it's like this, and you're like, you can't even get an idea of what this picture is of at all. Well, here's another one, probably the same set. See that? This girl is sitting in you can see her right leg, you can see her upper body, you can see her bare midriff. She's wearing a swimming suit top, but she's got like a drape over this, and they're covering her face, which they should. So if you're taking a picture, and we don't know what that is, of this and this, you're blocking out the entirety of whoever's here. I'm guessing this is a reflection of whoever this person is in this image. If you're blacking out, what you can and cannot see, to protect their identity is one thing, but which is what I think you have in this case. But there's a lot of explaining that would need to be done as to why this one would have to be completely blacked out. Now, I think by and large, the Democrats are going to. They didn't have control of this. This is released directly from from Pam Bondi. Someone, I'm guessing, topless on a treadmill. That would be the reason for that redaction the way it is. But the Democrats, in theory, are going to see unredacted pictures. See these photos unredacted. And this is kind of what I mean. Like, look at this picture right here, whoever this is. They're crawling across the floor and perhaps topless, but you're seeing their backside and their legs and they're in underwear. And then right here, right? And they're crawling on the floor. If you're able to do that by just redacting their face and their body parts, that, they're unmentionables, then the idea that you would black out an entire photo without any clue as to what it is very telling. I can't tell if that's just somebody leaning on something. All right. So this is a big portion. Okay, this is another example. Here's a picture of more than likely one of the victims. This looks like Virginia Jeffrey from the top that she has on. It looks like it's close to the thing, but it might have been a consistent thing that they did. And she's sitting here, and her face is completely covered. There are also scantily clad pictures of people where their faces are blacked out. You can do that without hiding the entirety of the photo. So I'm just going to assume, I think we can all do that safely, that this is a picture of Trump. This is a picture of Trump. Anytime the whole picture is blacked out, it's Trump. I mean, look, that's what I mean. Look at this photo here. Whoever that is. Clearly they're topless under their vest or whatever. And you can see their arms and you can see their midriff and their pants or whatever, but their face is blacked out. There are ways to black stuff out, even if it's a extreme close-up that gives you an idea of what you're looking at. But look at all this. Look at all these blacked out photos completely. And some of it, it has what the hell is this? Okay, I'm guessing it's a sideways photo, and someone is standing probably outside naked, or they're blacking out who they are, or it's somebody with Trump. And this is from this book of images. This looks like a box of Compromat to me. This looks like him, keeping track of, who's who and where they were, and the girls involved, and there's Maxwell and Doug, and then some other girl, and there's another girl, more than likely topless. Here's a close-up of her chest in whatever outfit she was wearing previously. Yeah. And this is you can see this is from a book, a photo album that they had. Yeah, see, there's there's a side view of a girl in her top and her underwear or a thong or something right here. So the idea that they're redacting whole images, right there. Like that's obviously something that he's taking a picture of, and they redacted part of it. So if they're redacting the whole thing, that's Trump. That's Trump or Trump's buddies. Trump or a Trump donor or a Trump golfing buddy and all that. So that'll take some going through. I've downloaded, like I said, all of those, and we'll look through them and see what's in there, especially the items not scanned part. But it's also interesting to me that there are these kind of things that will, if we're going to find pictures of him and Trump, they're going to be in this size, I bet, too. That's the other trick they're going to do, is that there's just going to be these little photos instead of the fully, item was not scanned. Yeah, like, okay, so this is the telling thing. Miscellaneous high-res photos. There's a scan of the disc itself. No, Epstein did not take all these photos. Other people did, of him, with him. Maxwell did, and the like. 4 thumbnails. This is pictures they took, including 8-bit RGB flat Photoshop file. That's from a picture at a place, though. I don't think that's an actual human. That was like he took a picture of a picture. This is like an autographed picture, I guess, of somebody, or he scratched them out, something like that. Yeah, personal photos of them, bullshit. Okay, so this is meant to like obfuscate a bunch of these things. I would say that, and again, this proves it. Here you go. That if they're worried about covering anything, they clearly are comfortable with some other stuff. So the idea that they're blanking out an entire photo that wouldn't let you know that if you looked a little further, you'd see some naughty bits is just fucking ridiculous. Look at these, directly taped over, so they can't even be scanned and redacted. Fuck is that? Look at that. Literally, there's Post-it notes over it for the scan. Yeah, on a bunch of these. Look at that. Holy shit. Look at this business. Yeah, they literally, during the scan, they put like Post-its over them. Why would that be? Miscellaneous images. Okay. And again, when it says miscellaneous images on these discs that we're talking about, these are all part of what was in Maxwell's trial, I guess, as well, or that was going to be. Yeah, there you go. Clinton, Africa. Okay, so that's why. Okay, they put this one in there. This is the trip to Africa that Clinton did on his plane years ago. Dog group photo. This is them. This is a while back. There you go. Him and Clinton finished. We've seen this picture before. This is the plane. That's the island finished. These are okay, and these are meant to be for a puff piece on him. That's why finished, because somebody like finalized those pictures. Yeah, is that a? Hold on, right? Yeah, magazine project makes total sense. There you go. Home, island, plane, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein shots. So this is what they're talking about on these discs. These are things for like him to put out as part of that Bannon project that he was doing. Still tons of redactions. And I bet you as the time goes on, you're going to see redactions that link directly to the time that Trump was hanging out with him. I want to see if people can go and cut across the flight logs and the timing on the redacted photos, because I'm guessing you're going to see a lot of overlap on the redactions. And it is against the law for them to overly redact things, anyways. So Alhambra and the heli, these are them flying someplace in particular. I think this is him out in New Mexico at the property. Yeah. Yeah, who like this pictures of victims at the house. Right. Um so yeah, so this is stuff that a mix of what was meant to be seen. This is the most telling stuff. This is like Manu. Okay, so Manu is this person, I'm guessing. Just clothed, and then the idea would be the rest of these would be Manu not clothed and perhaps with someone untoward. Trip photos, scams, the Chateau Villette. Okay, so again, these are pictures taken at location. The most compromising thing about them would be that people were hanging out with him, especially in dates when they didn't say it. These are pictures of them skiing in Taos. Okay, so again, this is part of the flooding the zone with bullshit. And a lot of it isn't going to contain, isn't going to say, Trump was with me or whatever in these. And the amount of redactions in them that isn't just faces, clearly, like, this would be the. And again, these are not the redactions from the Democrats, on the committee, like the ones that they're releasing from the files. This is all stuff that was redacted by Pam Bondi. Christmas 05. It's very rare that you see a picture that's not redacted, and largely it's him. Yeah. So yeah, this is several. Let's see, several hundreds or thousands will be released. So yeah, this is the first tranche of it, but they have to release all of it by law, and they cannot over redact. Look at this. Look at the redactions here. Every photo in this section right here, gone, just completely blacked out. Even the name of this one is blacked out. But then I guess these are the photos from it. Why? Because they're from fucking Trump's plane? That would be my guess. Yeah, pictures out the window from a plane. Why would the name of this be redacted? Why would stick? Okay. Yeah, and this is another attempt, by the way, to put low res images out as well that you have to squint and stare through and all that kind of stuff. And there's the dude, and that's the guy we saw in the other one. So, the dude in drag who was dancing for him, who looked, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's lots to go through here, but I have a feeling that that's what they're counting on. And it is very odd that they have some of the names of places where they were marked out, because I don't know who gives a shit if they were in Taos, New Mexico. They don't. They do realize that people like standard OSINT can put stuff in and figure out where a image was taken just from the geography pretty easily, right? They do. They are aware of that. Maybe they aren't. Maybe they're just fucking stupid. And my scan is 805. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that they're talking about too is allegedly after Trump stopped hanging out with him was the thing. Look at he's just got pictures of girls in different levels of dress or undressing. And then probably the rest of her nude, and then, yeah, pictures from outside a plane window. Obviously, from these are all shots from out of Trump's plane window. View of where they are. It was not scanned. A DVD. PB Sunset Clouds, miscellaneous, whatever. Okay, yeah. Da-da-da. And then this is weird too, like this business where he's got these. What are you doing? Can't. It's gonna love. So somebody's sitting there with their face redacted. Hard to say who that is. But the rest of these all with post-its over them, so they can't even be. I mean, I gotta say that's the hinkiest thing about all this shit. We're obviously not going to go through all of this tonight, but we'll jump through some of these things. Okay, these are just pictures that he had taken, or pictures of pictures that he had taken, or pictures he had like downloaded of women, models, and whatnot. Probably stuff that when he was doing that, look of the year stuff with Trump, they probably have tons of model photos from that, or girls from Eastern Europe that he was offered or brought over or whatever. Yeah. And this one, this will be just him sailing with Ghislaine, probably. Wait, who's this? All right. Or Jean-Luc Brunel. Is this one of the Brunel pictures? Okay. So, LSJ, boat views, Majorca, cancer benefit. Yeah, it's Jean-Luc Zorro. Okay, yeah, that's what I was. Spotted him. I got it, right? Huh? Okay. Like, who the fuck needs to know what Jean-Luc Brunel looks like? Yeah, and then tons of this stuff just redacted entirety. So all these are Trump photos. Every single one of them. I'm just going to assume until I'm proven otherwise that those are, Melania's pick me tape. There's on the Zorro. Ties, Moscow girls. Crackhole proposal. All right. Bali, Thailand, Asia, Russia. Nudes, yoga girls. Yeah, this is going to be largely blacked out as well. Especially his trips to Russia. Okay, so these are all the pictures Trump shows up in Russia, obviously. It looks like all these post-its covered, covered ones are CSAM because they were always after a page saying CSAM not scanned. Yes. Well, that's different, though. So CSAM not scanned is different, right? So and this says item was not scanned, not CSAM. Some of the CSAM stuff, I guess, would be child sexual assault material. But all of this stuff has to be evidence. When the FBI goes after a case, if they find child sexual assault material, they have to scan it or maintain a copy of it. The FBI went through all this shit and he decided, fuck this, I resigned. Yeah, a bunch of people did. But so this item was not scanned, it says, from this, but they took a scan of the outside of it. And then this is just another page. You can see the sides of this. The fact that it isn't scanned means that you should have access to the actual disc itself. But look at this. Look at this all blacked out. LSJ 903. This is him with somebody. Yeah, with one of the girls or with somebody else. But like the covered up stuff, I don't necessarily believe that this. And by the way, child sexual assault material covers a lot of ground in this situation too. The pictures as Trump describes them, as Michael Wolff describes them, of Trump getting a lap dance from those girls would qualify as CSAM and qualify as, something that you would redact in that regard to hide the evidence of the people, but you would cover their faces. The adults should be seen, in theory. But look at that, just all of it, and then Yeah, I'm going with like there's a shit ton of Trump pictures in here. Um, this guy right here, Zorro, Laser Cloud, Prague, Jean Luc. Oh, good lord! And these are, I guess, great quality. Pam, photoshopped images. There's something drawn on the road. There's women with their faces. You'll always be beautiful, and life is worth living. Love yourself. Somebody wrote on the back of that one, or wrote to her on the back of that one. Um, Brad Woodward's photos, item not scanned. Yeah, okay, so there's the thumb drive. Great, we get a picture of the thumb drive, the contents of the thumb drive. Let's see, interview, yeah, no. To be released, no. Receipt given, no. Interview of photos provided by something. These are interview notes about the girls. May have moved back to Brazil, may have moved back home. Jerusalem, Italy. Not sure if they took almost. Yeah. So this is about like an interview either with Ghislaine about the girls that were in them, friends of friends, big Brazilian group, Dominican darker skinned girl looks Amazonian, brought toward end, desperate time, maybe 1-2 year older, not sure. Desperate time, running out of girls. Friends with best friends, friends. Je didn't want Spanish or dark girl. Go in, waiting room. It doesn't know if he took her or not. I don't know what happened to what doing, bringing me a dark girl, bringing me a young girl. Yeah, but not dark. Told her he just wanted, wasn't into her. Doesn't remember if he paid, but he wasn't happy. Je paid her something about the bathroom. Vaginas and boobs near the bathtub. He got in shower, told her you can just bring girls he doesn't like. Told her keep looking for girls. At one point, witnessed him asking for ID to girl. Wanted to make sure she was under 18, but he wasn't believing them. Messed up by bringing more older girls. Brought out purple something. Wonder if she talks to the JE. Da da da. Roommate and still living with. Okay, this is all about his stuff and what Epstein was into, which is well known to some degree, but also examples of other victims that he may have been involved in. Somebody looking at somebody topless at an event, two topless girls somewhere in a bed somewhere. Either purchased images, nude photo session. This looks like stuff from Madonna's book. Again, they're just going to release this stuff. I mean, like art nudes, big deal. What matters is if they're of age or not, and it looks like by and large they are, although you can't really tell from these, and from his proclivities, you'd assume not. But okay, another good example of like these are nude girls on the beach, on the water or whatever, and they're taking pictures of them. So if you can show everything but their faces from that, you can clearly show more in those other photos that are completely blacked out. See what I mean? It's interesting. Like they're blacking those pictures out not because of because the women are scantily clad. Yeah, okay. There's the CSAM not scanned 33 images. Yeah, that's a picture of him when he was young and when he just gotten the job from what's it call it? From Bill Barr's dad. And more notes. Had an interest there in the bathroom. We all stayed together. No routine. Jeffrey always woke up early and had his coffee. So this is her notes about what happened and where they were. I presume Maxwell's. Palm Beach Police Department stuff that they had and they'd gotten access to. Item was not scanned to CD. That's case materials. Okay, that's the evidence that we were talking about earlier. An ad for Scarlett's, a copy of Excitement magazine. Apparently he was keeping stuff. Item not scanned. That's from the photo lineup again. Maybe another photo lineup. Um, I don't know. Oh, Loving Soap. Is what this it's an image of. Um, I don't want to get into too much trouble. What I'm like showing stuff on here. Um, okay, and then there's pictures. Okay, I love how they have a picture of a roll of film, and then I presume this is the photos that were from that roll of film. We've seen those other ones that the girl in the woods. That's in another file. There's this. Okay, here's the same pictures of those girls from the beach, more redacted than the other ones. Same shots. That's also another thing that's squirrely. See, it's a girl hitting the punching bag, completely redacted as a human being. So, like, I mean, obviously parts of this are fascinating to go through. But on the other hand, it like, until there's been time to just literally, you know, start breaking all this down piece by piece. Ew. Yeah, and he's just got pictures. Okay, so that's the end of that one. That's one file of stuff, and that's not even the beginning of like this part, which is I guess 3 pages of stuff. For these all operate open separately. Yeah, single shots. Oh yeah. I think this is a framed version of the whole like check from yeah. This is the check from Trump. You know the picture that was in his birthday book of Trump paying for a, a, a depreciated woman. Okay, that he had this picture framed in his house someplace too, not just in the yeah, and that's the back of it because of what was maybe written on it. Yeah, that's the see you can see Trump's signature or the joke Trump signature anyways. Right here. Um photo scan. Okay, that's oh, I think this is one of Prince Andrew. Um Hard to set this stuff. I don't know why it's ink ink. So, anyways, there we leave through some of this stuff, a reasonable amount of it, a good portion of it. I think a lot of people will go through this. I'm going to dump it into an AI and have it search for any pictures or references to Trump. It's going to be really hard because they're intentionally making it difficult. They're flooding it with stuff. I will say that it won't stop it though. He's he's cooked, but you can see that that's what the intent was in this situation. But I have all 4 of them. They all downloaded, so we'll see if we can find anything else. Let me jump back to the chat room because this has been a bit distracting in this because it's fairly fascinating to look into, but overall, yeah, Vegas Brent says about the CSAM stuff, the super chat. It looks like they all the post-it note ones are covering CSAM because they say they're not CSAM not scanned. Again, I think since anybody involved with any of these girls could qualify as CSAM, it's a way of redacting it too. So yeah, and then thank you, Bonnie. Merry Christmas to you too, and again, thank you, Francis. Appreciate it. Happy Friday to you as well. Now, should we get into some of the video stuff? Because I think what we're going to see tomorrow and probably on Monday is a reaction from the right wing folks, the Trumpies that are covering for him or are panicked because of what is actually seen in this. Now, I think this one, yeah, this is short. Okay. So as this comes up, one of the reasons why Trump did his little gathering today and why he's like reclassifying pot, and he's just in a bum rush to do a bunch of shit, is because he's trying to do a smokescreen of what he thinks people regard as generally positive activity in light of the Epstein stuff coming out. And now, also, what continues to grow as the Epstein stuff comes out as well is that Epstein, it's abundantly clear to everyone, is a complete scumbag, and in many ways is worse than we thought, and if that's possible. And Trump's friendship with him becomes more suspect as this stuff comes out. So let's jump in, shall we? Steph did pick the wrong time to go on vacation. I don't know that she did. It's also soul draining. No. Watching these people get theirs, he's not going to be able to outrun karma. Trump isn't. For real. I mean, you mean maybe he does because his brain turns completely to mush. That's a possibility. I will give you that. That Trump literally could just, his brain could completely fail by the time this comes around to attack him. In the same way that like Epstein and Cosby, Weinstein and Cosby, by the time they got these assholes, they were well past their raping years. They weren't going to be able to lure anybody anywhere, and they weren't, they're already broken down. It would be better, I would think, if we could bust those kind of people when they're younger and in the middle of it, to stop it. You know what I mean? To protect the people who are who would be the future victims. Interrupt the process. I don't know. It's just me. I'm a little crazy that way, as you do with the thing and everything else. All right, so let's jump into this. They also put out like the White House. They call them the Trump Epstein files. It's a good idea. Yes, we should refer to them as such. One Vision says 86K subs at 100K. You promised a bubble suit. I have the bubble suit already. So there, One Vision, I do. It's in a closet right there. So I'm ready. I will do the bubble wrap jumpsuit for my 100,000 subscribers. It will happen. The other thing we need to do, CSL, is figure out how to turn the chats on YouTube to subscriber only, because I feel like most people who are in there are subscribers, but we get the only time we ever get trolls that are wasting everybody's time is because we don't have any of those limits turned on. I wouldn't make it members only because I think subscribing's enough, right? Anyways, figure that part out later. All right, so here we go. This is Trump's desperately trying to sell whatever the hell is happening. Here you go. By signing a bunch of stuff.
Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin.
Also, this is your fucking ad. You can't say a complete sentence. Here at home, we're bringing our country back from complete economic ruin, or whatever the hell he was saying. But we are so lame. Jesus.
Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. I am bringing those high prices down very fast.
No, he isn't.
After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Wages are rising much faster than inflation. Very importantly, there are more people.
He doesn't even believe it. You can tell. Listen to him say it.
Working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government. I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion.
Yeah, unemployment has gone up, though. How about, give me the number. What is it? Don't give me 90% of the new jobs. How many jobs? 10? Okay, 9 of them have been in the private sector? Yeah. Does pumping gas count? Uh-huh. Winning.
Dollars of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings.
Sorry, did he say rope or roads?
To the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory.
Growth. I think he was trying to say growth and couldn't get the W out. Growth. I am Groot.
Investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings.
Growth.
And far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now,
It was dead as a dead country. Dead, dead, dead.
we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. Next
Right, this is just his pickup line.
year, you will also see
Oh, next year we'll see. Take two.
hottest country anywhere in the world. Next year, you will also see
Next year you will. You can't roll back. Say also again, sir. What? You said oh. It's also.
hottest country anywhere in the world. Next year, you will also see
You will. Next year you will. You will see. Jesus. We're so hot we can also.
hottest country anywhere in the world. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Tonight, I am also proud to announce that 1,450,000
Oh, they fixed the. They fixed the hole. They didn't fix the whole hole, but they fixed the 1,460,000. Remember, he said 1,460,000, and he had to think of it. 1 million. Remember that? They're using the audio from, but they went back and fixed that. They can't fix hole.
military service members will receive a special Warrior dividend on
Warrior.
Day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electric.
I think the maggots are going to buy it. I really do. I think this is maggots. Isn't this better than the Epstein files? I mean, I know how much you said you wanted them, but isn't this better? Weren't you really looking for sort of like an Ozempic ad piece of propaganda?
Generating plants. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000. We're poised for an economic
So it's still up $12,000.
boom, the likes of which the world has never seen.
Yes, because it's fictional. Anyway, so that's the speech was so shitty and was so poorly received. They decided to put out a tinier, tinnier, shittier version of it, I guess. Meanwhile, there's so much stuff. Hold on. After our little gathering, man. Let's see. Just now from Jolly Good Ginger. Just sent 6-page letter to Congress about not releasing the Epstein files, and oh, nice. I'll pop that up and see what we got here. This seems to be. Let me open this up. A copy of the letter. Members of Congress, I write to notify you that today the Department of Justice is producing hundreds of thousands of pages of responsive materials in compliance with the Epstein File Transparency Act under the leadership of Trump and Payamani. This unprecedented disclosure highlights our committee following the law, blah, 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 blah. This letter will summarize the department's historic efforts and disclose. As part of the collection and review process, the department is continuing to review additional documents and other items for potential responsiveness. That's good. Hold on. I'll take it. Potential responsiveness. Just this week, one of the department's components provided additional victim information requiring updated review of the materials, and in the last few weeks, multiple courts have granted the department's unsealing motions requiring detailed review of thousands of images of investigative and grand jury material. Several components have just provided documents this week. Because of the volume of the material and the requirement that every page of every document be reviewed for potential redactions under the Act, final stages of review of some material continue. The DOJ this is her whiffing. This is Pam Bondi whiffage part 2. Just so you know. Or part of their whatever. So, excellent. And meanwhile, other people are putting out stuff, obviously. The New York Times did a thing about how they were best friends. And this is Megyn Kelly coming to his defense.
The news is breaking right now from the New York Times on Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. They think they've got him this time. They've really got him this time. Here are some highlights.
Do you really want to go out over your skis and defend him? The guy who said he was a lot of fun to be with and he likes girls on the younger side and not only flew on Epstein's plane 7 times that we know of, but Epstein flew on his plane multiple times as well, at least once with an underage girl with a reporter present. You absolute dipshit.
Hold on a second. My team's sending me the name of the article. It's Don's.
Your team? What's your team leader's name? Mr. Google?
Best friend. How Epstein and Trump bonded over the pursuit of women. And left-wing X is going nuts over what's in this article right now. Here are...
I guess the question is, why wouldn't right-wing X?
Some highlights. The Times interviewed more than 30 former Epstein employees, victims of his abuse, and others who crossed paths with the two men over the years.
Yeah, in other words, people that Megyn Kelly couldn't give a living shit about.
Again, I feel the need to point out, victims of his abuse gets used very loosely.
Ooh, yeah. Some of these bitches are straight up lying. Tell them about it, Megyn Kelly. Go for it. Victims.
By everyone about...
Yeah, especially the girls that were underage at the time.
Jeffrey Epstein, who have their claims been proven in a court of law or otherwise? Like, we don't know.
Yes. Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for trafficking them, you dizzy bitch. Fucking hell. Yes. They have proven it. And the dude fucking died in jail when Trump was president last time. So, unfortunately, that cut that trial short. Also, there's reams of evidence. Yes, it's... Jesus Christ. What the fuck is wrong with this woman?
Continue to just accept, like, certain women who are...
Certain women. Yeah, I know. You know, like those women that used to work at Fox News, and they're like bitching that, you know, Roger Ailes and other people would sexually harass them and stuff. Like, get the fuck out. You took the job. You probably wanted it, right? What the hell? Get the living fuck off. The fucking nerve. Megyn Kelly was sexually harassed out of her fucking job. That's why she left. She's a Me Too move. And she's like, some of these women, I mean, honestly. Good God. And they were children at the time. Fuck is wrong with you?
Adults who were allegedly, quote, molested by Jeffrey Epstein when they were 22. Like, this is tricky.
No, it isn't. No, it fucking isn't. No. They weren't molested. They were sexually assaulted. You get it? Like, that's the standard word. What you're doing is you're taking the word applied mostly to underage girls, and you're applying it to the women that he sexually assaulted or passed around like fucking party favors after, by the way, they'd been basically tricked out when they were teenagers. When he had their fucking passports or pictures of them naked. Pictures of them naked with powerful men, fearing for their fucking lives. What the shit? It's just fucking gross. Just drop it. Stop trying to defend, like, this isn't even her defending Trump. This is her defending Jeffrey fucking Epstein. I want to be really clear about that right now. Listen to what she's saying. She's not saying these bitches that say that they were assaulted by Trump when they were fucking... No, she's talking about Epstein. She's defending Jeffrey Epstein, saying he was not guilty of this stuff, that these bitches were lying about him. That's the Megyn Kelly position now. Holy shit.
In any event, that's what they say.
Yeah. That's what they said in court during depositions, where they swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Dipshit.
An examination of their history by the New York Times has found no evidence implicating Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein's abuse and trafficking of minors. Okay, that's great. That seems like an important thing to remember. During a flight together in the early 1990s, Mr. Trump came on to another Epstein employee traveling with them, telling her that he could have anyone he wanted, according to a different Epstein worker who learned of the incident. A separate Epstein employee from that era recalled Trump would occasionally send over modeling cards to Epstein to peruse like a menu. Okay. So he sent over modeling cards to Epstein, and he said,
Yeah. How old were the models? They were fucking 15.
on a plane that he could have anyone he wanted. Got it? A few times a week, the phone would ring in Mr. Epstein's office. Trump would be on the line. On one occasion, recalled an Epstein assistant from the mid-1990s, Mr. Trump refused to give any name at all. The first assistant, who often worked late, recalled that sometimes when the office emptied out, Mr. Epstein, oh, this is the part that they're loving. Mr. Epstein would check
why?
to see that she was at her desk, and then he would put Trump on speaker. Mr. Trump, she said, seemed to enjoy regaling Mr. Epstein with tales of his sexual exploits, and Mr. Epstein seemed to delight in how uncomfortable it made her to overhear them. She remembered one call in the mid-1990s on which the two men discussed how much pubic hair a particular woman had, and whether there was enough for Mr. Epstein to floss his teeth with. On another, Mr. Trump told Epstein about having sex with another woman on a pool table, according to the former assistant. Now there's this other woman who says she's afraid to be identified or even to...
Also, by the way, Trump, the hero of the evangelical movement, and of course a man sent by God to be the second coming of David or some shit, was married at the time with newborns.
...be talking to the New York Times because she is afraid she will be executed. One woman, then a model and a college student in her early 20s living in Manhattan, said she attended 4 parties at Epstein's mansion. It was like a pissing contest. Who had the most women, she recalled. She requested anonymity to describe her experiences in detail, saying she feared for her family's safety after Mr. Trump said some of his critics could be executed for sedition. Okay, that's I think, very different from her situation. Last but not least.
No. Moron, he said he could shoot somebody in Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose any support. And then the Supreme Court said if he did it for national security reasons, and he couldn't even question what his reasoning was, if he had somebody snuffed, he would get away with it. Right around the time they were putting this together. Jesus Christ, of course.
This one involves Marla Maples, Trump's second wife. Tina Davis, who modeled for Ford in the mid-1990s, and her mother, Sandra Coleman, attended a Mar-a-Lago party in late 1994 when Tina was 14. During a trip to the bathroom, they ran into Trump's new wife, Marla Maples. They had not met her earlier. Ms. Maples clasped her hands, Ms. Coleman recalled, and looked her in the eye. Quote, "Whatever you do not let her around any of these men, and especially my husband," she told Ms. Coleman.
This is Marla Maples talking about Trump. Don't let this girl anywhere near my husband.
Protect her. Okay. Ms. Maples, because you remember like all the negative comments Ms. Maples has said about Trump since their divorce, since Trump ran for office. She's constantly been out there saying, he's a Me Tooer, he's an Epstein enabler.
He is.
Not a word. She's never disparaged him. Ms. Maples denied making the comment. I would always protect young women in any way I could, she said, but I am sure I did not specifically say that about my daughter's father. So that's the big dump from the New York Times. Trump and his best friend, Epstein. Your thoughts on it, Glenn?
Okay.
Yeah, both of you need to tighten your belt, steel your spine, and defend Donald Trump's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Is it actually breaking news that Donald Trump in the 80s and 90s as a young
and 2000s
good-looking...
Oh, God. What? Trump was never good-looking. Never. Ever. He knows he only got the women he got because of his money and his influence.
extremely rich Manhattan real estate developer, had a strong interest in women and even womanized. Like we heard the Access.
Yeah, we're not worried about. Also, that's not womanizing to say you can sexually assault a woman and get away with it.
Hollywood tape in 2016. People thought it was going to sabotage his campaign, and it didn't.
That's because many of us were silly to assume that the family values conservatives actually meant even a sliver of that shit.
Yes, Donald Trump had a very active sex life, a very strong interest in women, even when he was married. This is kind of what I was talking about.
No. Plenty of people have very strong sex lives and an active interest in women and aren't best friends with a fucking pedophile for 25 years. Aren't picking up his sloppy seconds.
Earlier, and people have decided that this is not disqualifying. And the other part of it is, and this is something that I think is so important, the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, and I have to say, in a way, the American right kind of made this monster, and it's now sort of attacking them, where it became like every person who ever talked to Jeffrey Epstein, who ever met Jeffrey Epstein.
Nope. No. Trump is not in trouble because he's in a crowd of people who used to see Jeffrey Epstein and he was around sometime. No. That is not the case at all. Nobody's crawling up Chris Tucker's ass or like about the time he was on the plane with him. Nobody thinks like even Kevin Spacey is getting a fucking pass because the times even like Bill Clinton spent less time with him by far than Trump did. And these guys will use this as a clear sign that Clinton knew and that he was a participant. Even though the same girls say the same thing about Clinton. None of them say that he did anything untoward, right? But they're like, yeah, I believe that. Meanwhile,
Epstein somehow had suspicion on them that they were a pedophile or had an interest in underage girls. A lot of the so-called victims, as you said, Michael Tracy has been really doing among the most courageous work on this because he's been fighting against the tide on this. A lot of these women who claim to have been victims of sex trafficking or Epstein victims never met Jeffrey Epstein until they were like 22 or 23 or 20.
Okay, first of all, you don't have to be underage to be a victim of sex trafficking. And him pimping these girls out because he liked them younger, pimping them out to other guys is still trafficking. Fuck is wrong with you?
24, not underage at all. So
yeah, they didn't have sex with him. He flew them in specifically to serve them up to rich and powerful men.
He was also surrounded by a lot of women who were definitely young, but well above the age of consent. And all of this is being done now with innuendo by the New York Times and by the American left.
No, the American left is not doing this via innuendo. Epstein was a pedophile. He was an unrepentant, proud pedophile. He surrounded himself with fellow travelers. He also used the girls that he had turned out over time, like pimps do, to offer them up to other rich and powerful men. Some of them underage, so he would have compromise on them, and some of them older, so he would get favors from them. An 18-year-old girl that Jeffrey Epstein picks up from a fucking high school at 16 years old, or 15 years old, or 14 years old, and has sex with repeatedly, and basically grooms her to accept money for sex, and then but when she turns 18 and he's no longer interested, he starts passing her around, is not a question of somebody's fucking sex life.
Is trying in any way to take some of this dirt from Jeffrey Epstein and throw as much of it as they can on Trump, which might be politically effective given everybody watched Trump fight so hard to conceal the files. But until there's evidence that Trump actually had any kind of relationship with an underage girl, and there actually has never been anything remotely close to that.
Yes, there has. There's been an entire deposition. The girl pulled her case because she was afraid she would get killed.
All this
Katie Johnson
is political activism disguised as journalism, which is everything that you read me from the New York Times, which I haven't read yet, but the parts that you read me are empty in terms of anything significant.
There are a lot of politicians that should.
there's a lot of politicians that do terrible, terrible things. And my favorite one is Donald Trump. It's just gross. It's gross. Their comfort with it is fucking gross. Meanwhile, I have to say, CBS News combing through the newly released Epstein files, which, by the way, are incomplete. Wait till that happens. Trump DOJ refuses to release full Epstein files. Justice Department makes bombshell Epstein announcement, which is that they're not going to release all the stuff, and that some stuff we just saw, so we've got to go through all of it before we can release it. It's so gross. It is odd to me that knowing Trump and what we've been through with this prick over the last few years, and knowing like the comfort level that Epstein and Andrew and all these other guys had, and then Trump talking about him like, oh, he likes them young, buddy. And then this whole letting everybody throw themselves in front of the bus, like Glenn Beck did, like Megyn Kelly has, that he kicked him out for being a creep. And then it turns out, no, he didn't actually kick him out at all. And then the little falling out they did have was over a real estate deal. And then he wishes Ghislaine Maxwell well from the White House press room. Now, there's obviously a lot of... we will see more of this as it comes out and as we go through it. But I'm personally fascinated by how they spin this. This is the first out of the gate. Obviously, by the way, that clip of Megyn Kelly is before the first release of this stuff. And I want everybody to remember it when we get around to all of the stuff finally coming out, even if it, takes this, it takes an act of Congress or threats of jail time. Meanwhile, hold on, I want to show this. These guys are so fun. We'll check in with the back and forth. Do I have time? Yeah, I've got a little time. So one of the big things that happened, of course, was that the Turning Points USA America Fest happened, and Ben Shapiro came out and like laid it on pretty thick, attacking Candace Owens. And so the response around, I mean, one need only go to fucking Bendover's channel to see this. Flame War at AmFest is the title of his thing, but it has this Ben Shapiro brawls with Tucker live on TPUSA stage, whatever, and they both got little boxing gloves, which is adorable. And then there's the stern-faced Erica Kirk and the screaming, angry black lady that is Candace Owens. But there's a bunch of this, well, here's Tucker Carlson's remarks, but this, Candace Owens says Ben Shapiro involved in killing Charlie Kirk. So anyways, this is getting good across the board. But let's jump in. Let's see what he says about Shapiro. This is
Iran. Hey, Saki.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Turning Point is known for the sparklers that they have on stage.
I beg your pardon. None of my followers are on that stage. That's fucking disgusting. Sparklers. You mean fireworks?
But a literal flame war happened live in the
See what he did there?
first night of America Fest.
Guys, I'm here. I'm backstage with my phone. My wife's downstairs crying because every SAS, according to Milo,
between Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro. Now, booking both of them live on the stage, back to back, is an aggressive move, and the two men decided to take out their battles ideologically against each other. I mean, damn it, just have the debate is what I would say. Just have them both on stage at the same time. Trick them, whatever you need to do. Just like, tell them.
Yeah, that's how it should operate. Yeah, so let me get this straight. The conservatives should take two of their biggest influencers and lie to them to get them on stage to argue about how many Jews were involved in the death of Charlie Kirk. That's where you guys are now? Good luck!
At the same time, don't tell them they're debating. Have two podiums come up. The two went flames on against each other.
And if anybody knows,
Ben Shapiro was first. Ben Shapiro went after Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson, sort of in a
They called them grifters.
back-to-back sequence in his speech, and then Tucker Carlson went right at Ben Shapiro. And so here we go. Here's Ben Shapiro.
Hey, asshole. Both of these people are on your side, allegedly, and you're not going to take a side over what the fuck's going on here? You're going to be that big of a coward about this shit? Like, one of them is accusing, every Jew involved in Turning Points USA and the staff there of fucking murdering Charlie Kirk. And the other one is telling them to go pound sand. And you're like, I don't know, I could flip a coin.
First off, going after Candace Owens.
We must not let fear of audience deter us from telling the truth. We must not let fear of other hosts deter us from telling the truth. So, for example, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk
Yeah, the problem is I don't know if they're clapping for Candace Owens or they're clapping for him dunking on her. It's hard to tell because they have no clear moral structure.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name.
Really? Are we supposed to? Are we clapping for that or are we clapping against that? I don't really. Oh, I'd go on Jubilee, but they couldn't find enough people to be willing to contradict me. Or they'd have. I would want to be the only mixed match Jubilee, half conservative, half lefties. Right? I mean, how easy is it to just dunk on a bunch of people who have the opposite side of what you believe, either by getting outraged or yelling about? But I'll do both groups. That would be awesome.
Erica Kirk and TPUSA never should have been put in the position to have to defend themselves against such specious and evil attacks, particularly in a time of mourning. And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice. Yes, cowardice.
Damn, look out, son. Shazam! Yeah, I agree with Ben. Yeah. I mean, this is pretty cut and dry. It's fairly obvious. Is it wrong that all these people are assholes. So I like watching them fight amongst each other. I'm like, I do feel bad about, I know people don't think Erica Kirk is honest in her grievance and whatever and blah, blah, blah. In her grieving, I personally don't find a need to draw a line like that on somebody else's life, ever. You're never going to get called onto the carpet for being too giving to someone who just lost a family member after they were murdered. You know what I mean? Like, you really think she minded? Like, it's a weird, like, point to take as, like, examples of you being a deep thinker. Yeah, I would rather be the person who respects someone's room to grieve. And then if they end up going to jail later, we can discuss it then, if they helped and participated in it. But I'm,
The fact that they have said nothing while Candace has been vomiting all sorts of hideous and conspiratorial nonsense into the public square for years is just as cowardly.
Yeah, but that includes the time she worked for you, dickhead. What, she wasn't vomiting conspiratorial garbage while she was working for you? Of course she was.
Obviously, the crowd loved that. Candace has been a major agitator against Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk, and the team that runs the organization. Obviously,
and we've obviously seen that. We've obviously noticed that we obviously have seen that. Now, I'm not going to say whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I am specifically the coward that he was discussing.
There was a summit this week between them. I think a lot of lawyers got involved.
No, there wasn't a lot of lawyers involved. One lawyer called in while she was there. Did you not? You watched what she said. Shut the fuck up. Well, actually, I take it back. He probably just does not have the intellectual capacity to understand what was said.
And Candace has decided to take a step back after that.
No, she hasn't. No, she did not. I played a clip right afterwards where she was on Piers Morgan. Let's step back. Get the fuck out of here. She went on Piers Morgan and went, I saw nothing that would lead me to believe that Tyler Robinson is the killer. Jesus.
Shapiro also, though, went after Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly. Here we go.
But even if it were true that other public figures were our best friends, our very best friends, that does not relieve us of our duty to speak out of principle and not to cover up evil or shy away from addressing it out of friendship.
Uh-oh.
So no, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA.
Oh, damn, sister, what's happening? Like, literally, the crowd is, they're doing a lot of this, like, oh, shit. This is the side that allegedly won in a landslide, you'll recall, last year. All 7 swing states, total ran the table, right? Everybody loves what they want to do, right? That didn't last long.
Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same
Damn. Shots fired.
It's true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend.
Well, not for long.
Characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. Meghan Markle is a young mother. Ilhan Omar is a young mother. That doesn't matter. And when Megyn said this week, quote, my goal and my job here is to try to understand, yes, where Candace is coming from on this, and says she sees no purpose in inserting herself, quote, into this on one side, that is a moral and logical absurdity. There is only one moral side here, Erica Kirk's side.
This is going very well.
You know, the side of the widow with 2 children, whose husband was shot live on camera in front of all of us. Friendship with the person accusing TPUSA of a cover-up of Charlie's murder is no excuse for cowardice.
Okay, so everybody said, whoa, that is extremely aggressive, and...
Is that what they said? When were they saying this? Just in the next bathroom stall? Where the fuck are you, you weirdo?
Goodness, like calling them out by name is really something else, and...
Yeah, it's especially since one was a former employee and the other one was probably offered a contract at the Daily Wire.
Ben's not making any friends there, and maybe this is right.
Yeah, he is. I think probably everyone at TPUSA, certainly Erica.
Why Charlie didn't have Ben Shapiro keynote for the last couple of America Fests. But anyway, we fast forward to Tucker Carlson, who was, I think, like just a few minutes afterwards. I think there might have been a speaker in between, but Tucker Carlson closed out.
You wouldn't know. You didn't check. You didn't see. Might be an important detail. If it isn't, then why bring it up?
The night and
what a dweeb.
Began with a commentary about how, like, wait a second, how are you trying to use Charlie Kirk's platform to deplatform people and attack people? Charlie was about unity and bringing people together and open debate, and you are trying to close things down.
Yeah, but conspiratorial thinking is where he's coming from. He's not trying to shut down debate over whether or not assassination is good or whether or not you should participate in it. He's shutting down the conspiratorial talk about his friend and the head of the organization on which the stage they're standing on.
Tucker.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God. It's like these guys are all fucking dweebs. Seriously. I don't know where this fucking alpha male lie comes from the right. I don't get it. These are the dweebiest, nepo baby, second generation rich kid shitheads ever. These guys make Tucker Carlson sound like they make Ted Cruz sound like a baritone. Look at this fucking weasel. Never had to work a day in his fucking life. Just bought property in Qatar. The country that is the hinge point for all terrorist payments throughout the Middle East right now. The money laundering capital of the Levant. And that's saying a lot considering Cyprus is in there. He just bought fucking property there. Yep. Went over to Russia, kissed Putin's ass, went to like 2 Moscow nightclubs, one train stop, a state-picked grocery store, and an interview inside the Kremlin, and thought, oh my God, this fucking country's banging. How is he any different than these like YouTube influencers that go over to China and are like, they're 100 years ahead of us? Fucking hell.
Thank you. Walking out is always such a trip at these things. I just got here, and I feel like I missed the first part of the program. Hope I didn't miss anything meaningful. But I just want to say, I don't think I did. No, I'm just kidding. I watched it. I laughed. That kind of bitter, sardonic laugh that emerges from you when, like, Upside Down World arrives. When your dog starts doing your taxes and you're like, wait, it's not supposed to work this way. To hear calls for, like, deplatforming and denouncing people at a Charlie Kirk event, I'm like, what? This is hilarious.
No, it's not hilarious. Nick Fuentes isn't even allowed on the premises. Shut the fuck up. I don't think he should, but he's clearly in your camp. And you clearly agree with him on more than you disagree, but he isn't, and he's got a bigger audience than 80% of the people that are on that stage, and you're not letting him talk. Why? Because you've deplatformed him, and you have denounced him, you dipshit. So the idea, like, he's always been run out of there. I mean, there's a huge, hold on. Let's see. What the hell? Why is that not type? Hold on. Nick. Mm-hmm. Hey, Tucker, fuck you. It's not an absolute. Everybody isn't fucking welcome. Turning Point USA isn't interested in debate or alternative views or a wide spectrum of thought or diversity of thinking, or they'd invite me to speak, but they'd be scared shitless to do that. Stupid. Because I would remind them that all the red states hang on the tit of the blue states. That these big cities they shit on, where all the crime is also where all the coffee, sex, cinema, like shopping and industry is. That the reason Trump got, 8,000 districts or something is because most of them don't have any fucking people in them. The counties in this country. That states like North Dakota and South Dakota have fewer people in them than suburbs of Cincinnati, and yet they have 2 fucking senators on the federal level. If you were really small government conservatives, why does your state have a governor? You got less than 1 million people in your state? There are mayors who can handle the job. There's no such thing as a small government conservative. Every red state leader, every red state Republican lives off of the tit of a blue state. So no, you don't believe in broad debate or wide, a wide expanse of political thought. Of course you deplatform and shun people, you shithead. And you shouldn't have to. It's their fucking event. They can turn people away if they want to. It's a private organization. At Turning Point USA's The People Convention, on June 14th in Detroit, security officers removed Nick Fuentes, the self-avowed anti-Semite and Holocaust-denying podcaster. In videos on social media of the encounter wearing sunglasses, Fuentes walked towards the building's exit as a group gathered around him with people holding up phones to film the encounter. A bearded security guard ordered him to leave as the crowd booed. The fucking people at TPUSA were booing. Were they booing because he was being told to leave? Or were they booing because they wanted him to leave? Maybe you should ask. How about a little fucking round table about that, asshole? When a second security guard identified later in the video as Brian enters... Brian? What? I mean, come on. Enters, a follower demands to know what Fuentes did to get the boot. Fuentes said they didn't give a reason. He turned to the crowd and said it was because Israel controls this event. The group cheered. He then stated, "This is America first, not Israel first." The guard guided Fuentes out of the building as the crowd chanted, "America first, America first." They were booing because he was being asked to leave. So no, Tucker, it's not weird that people are being deplatformed or told to fuck off, even when a majority of the people that are at that event agree with them.
Forming and denouncing people at a Charlie Kirk event. I'm like, what? This is hilarious. Yeah, this is hilarious. Actually, one of the clips I was listening to myself, thinking as I often do when I hear myself speak, which is never, because I never watch myself, but at these events they always play.
Yeah, he probably has a weak stomach.
Like the role of you. And I'm like, that guy is pompous. Woo! Sorry about that. We don't see ourselves clearly. But the prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help. And really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not, it's a noun, don't steal my nouns, deplatform and denounce.
Yeah, that ship has sailed, nobody cares.
Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole Red Guard Cultural Revolution thing that we so hated and feared on the left. That
Wait a minute. Fuck you, asshole. People can call you out. The fuck are you talking about? This isn't about fucking conservative values. This is about you chasing a conspiracy theory about somebody who was just fucking killed and then going and speaking at an event run by his fucking wife, where you apparently side with the person that thinks she participated in it. It isn't about whether they should denounce and shun you. It's why are you on that fucking stage if you think the woman who's now running the organization was a participant in his fucking murder? Why would you show up if he was allegedly your friend, you piece of shit? It isn't even about at this point whether somebody would ask you to leave or denounce you. It's who the fuck would show up in a situation like that? Sorry, you think it's okay to back someone who, in the case of Candace Owens, or agree with her that more than likely the head of the organization who you are speaking at killed the last head of the organization that she happened to be married to with the help of the Mossad and the fucking French intelligence and the CIA or some shit. The question at that point, honestly, this is a distraction. The question is not whether people are asking you to leave or are calling you out on your bullshit. The question is that if you had any ethics, any morals, and you actually believed what you were fucking saying, why you would set foot on that fucking stage. And if you don't walk off at the end going, this is the last time I'm speaking at this place, but you guys need to know the truth, thump, is the only way you could excuse it.
We did everything we could to usher in a new time where you could have an actual debate. I mean, this kind of was the whole point of Charlie Kirk's public life.
This isn't a debate, you dumb motherfucker. There's a trial going on. There's somebody been arrested for this. And you don't have to believe it, but the fact that you're debating it when it was your own friend who was killed, allegedly your friend, and your fallback again is that it wasn't just that the story doesn't fit or something else hinky is going on, but that your own side that you helped get elected is a participant in it. Because don't forget, not only is Erica Kirk allegedly involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk, but so is Kash Patel. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are active participants in the murder of Charlie Kirk, according to Candace Owens, who you are siding with in this argument. This isn't about debate. This is about like fantasy and reality and the fact that if you believe what you're saying, if you really believed it, you'd bug the fuck out. You'd go, I'm not going back to that place. Fucking weasel.
Life. And I think that he died for it. I really believe that. And I know a lot
Yeah, but you apparently also believe that his wife killed him over it.
About it because the last several months of Charlie's life were devoted in part to arguing about this event, in fact, this speech, in fact, my speech here, which he asked me to do earlier this year, this summer, and was immediately put under just immense pressure from people who give money to Turning Point, I would assume good people, but who wanted him to take me off the roster. And this has all become public, and the whole thing is so sad that I never talk about it, except to say...
Never talk about it. Except, what, 9 episodes of the last 12 of his podcast? Never talk about it. The fuck?
Charlie stood firm in...
By the way, I'm enjoying this. I don't know if you know this. Really. Fuck these people. And they deserve each other. And they're all awful. And the only one I have any sympathy for... because it is my inclination to be this way, is Erica Kirk in the death of her husband, who I would have rather argued with while he was alive than watch him die. Period. That's it. End of goddamn discussion. Because I don't support the death penalty, and I certainly don't support it without a trial of any sort, in any circumstance, ever. Not because of how other people are, but because how I am. Because that's what your ethics and your morals are about. They're about who you are, not who you can show yourself to be.
His often stated and deeply held belief that people should be able to debate. And that if...
What are you debating? What are you debating? This isn't a debate. Are you going to debate about whether assassination is good or bad? The FBI is run by your buddies. the person who shot him has allegedly been caught, and your argument is that he either had help, was a patsy, or was I guess never a part of it ever, and Erica Kirk was. What's the debate? Conspiracy versus reality? The case that's going on versus what you think in your head, or what sounds fucking hinky, or the fact that the organization on the stage you're standing on actually has people working for it right fucking now that Candace Owens alleged helped kill, if not directly killed, Charlie Kirk themselves. What the shit?
You have something valid to say. If you're telling the truth, you ought to be able to explain it calmly and in detail to people who don't agree with you, and that you shouldn't immediately resort to shut up racist.
Yeah, he didn't call you a racist. He called you a grifter. And by the way, one of the things that a lot of grifters say is that you're just accusing me of being a racist so that you can get the moral upper hand, regardless of the fact that my, I don't know, actions might be racist.
Honestly, it seems like both men got really good applause lines, and
Jesus Christ, that's the currency? That's what matters to you. Both of them got applause lines. Do you have any fucking standards?
they had their own supporters in the crowd, kind of mixed bag. They both got adversarial questions afterwards. And so, again, it seems like perhaps like Charlie's vision of having a robust debate about the future of the movement is alive and well.
Oh my God. They weren't arguing about the future of the movement or conservative economic policy or the fucking national debt. God damn. You weasel. They're talking about whether or not the person on trial for killing him actually did it, or his wife did it, who's currently running the organization that put them on stage that night. Oh, Jesus.
But I just, from my perspective,
suck. You just suck.
Just wish the two guys would have just had it out and debated, right? Just have Candace and Erica on stage, have Candace and Tim Pool on stage, have RFK and Ronald McDonald on stage. Just do the debate. Like, turn it into a debate. Turn it into a debate. I mean,
it's not a debate, dumbass. That's like saying, like, Alex Jones and Fauci debating. One of them would be talking about, like, getting people vaccinated, having a healthy America, and the other one would go, they're trying to put chips in people. Like, that's not a debate. That's a bar argument that's a waste of everybody's fucking time. This is like when CNN, we want a balanced conversation. So we have someone who thinks that there should be a museum of remembrance for the Holocaust, and for counterpoint, instead of bringing in somebody who thinks we don't need a museum for remembrance, it would be better as a holiday or some other thing, they bring in somebody who doesn't believe the Holocaust ever happened.
they're both there. They both have their private jets, and they're both there. Maybe they saw each other at the airport. Like, Mazel Tov, like, frickin' debate, you know?
No, I don't know. No, they're not debating. There's no debate point. One of them believes Erica Kirk helped murder her husband, and the other one believes that people who say that are full of shit, are selling something, and are morally vacuous. And they're all on the same side.
Or Molotov cocktails. Like, keep the flame war. Do the flame war in person. That's my opinion.
You're an idiot.
Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section.
We pretty much unanimously think you're a dipshit. And by the way, an amoral dipshit. Fucking hell. So, let's see. So, Bendover just said that, after the summit, that Candace Owens dialed it back. She pulled it back a little bit. She started quieting down a little, right? Well, let's check in with dimshit over at Dimcast. He's the title of this video is Candace Owens says Ben Shapiro involved in killing Charlie Kirk. Yeah, that sounds like she's dialing it back. That's just Candace Owens says Ben Shapiro involved in killing Charlie Kirk.
So Candace Owens is now claiming Ben Shapiro killed Charlie Kirk. And
Beanie Shapiro, is that what we're calling him, Beanie? All right.
And before any one of her conspiratards come out and say, well, she never said that, she tweeted, every time Ben speaks, I feel more certain Israel is involved in 9/10Z. He's just way too invested in Charlie's murder. He never liked Charlie, and he's now suddenly pretending he had a duty to defend his legacy. Ben only cares about Israel's interests, so Israel is involved.
Yeah, why can't we have that debate? Hal, who do you want to be the Dem presidential nominee in 2028? Besides me? I mean, I think the ticket that has the best shot is Newsom Kelly or Kelly Newsom.
So Israel is involved. Okay. The implication, the message sent to her followers is that Ben knows Israel was involved in his murder, which means Israel helped facilitate his murder. What does it mean to be involved? And Ben is well aware that they did. The implication, of course, being that Ben is part of the conspiracy to murder Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, that sounds like she dialed it down, right? Yeah? Yeah, that sounds, yeah.
I'm not playing these stupid games. Candace knows exactly what she's doing when she talks like she's retarded and says these things with all vague innuendo that can only lead to one conclusion. And that's why...
Yeah, that's the coward's way of implying something. It is what I call allowing for the inference thereof. It's a very common technique where you don't imply something directly. You just ask the question, but you ask it in a way that leads the person to the answer and goes, well, I mean, if you really think about it, what conclusion can you draw, You know,
I want to give Megyn Kelly a bit of respect because I do think she is smart and does a good job. But on this one thing, I'm going to criticize you, Megyn. When Ben pointed out that Megyn was implying Erica Kirk killed Charlie or was involved in that, she did. She did. But she plays this game where she's going to come out and go, I never said that. Holy. You know what, guys? I'm going to be honest with you. I am glad that I did not go to AmFest. To see Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson.
Oh, wait, is this where we find out Tim wasn't invited? Like he doesn't chart with that crowd? Like nobody wants to see him come out in his fucking beanie and his skate wear?
Carlson going at each other on stage. I'm so over this.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm totally not enjoying every second of it.
Candace, yes, she's an evil person. This has gone beyond psychotic. It is what it is. I like Tucker. Tucker's allowed to have different opinions than me, same as many of these lefties that I know. And I think Ben was wrong to criticize.
No. You don't get to hold on. You don't get to saddle the lefties, whoever the fuck they are, with the scumassery of Tucker Carlson and his fake demon attack to cover the scratches on his sides and his shoulder, which are interestingly exactly where scratches would be if a grown man with gnarly fingernails were to grab you by the waist or put one hand on your shoulder. He comes back to the house with scratches like that. That's how he describes. Hold on. Do you guys remember that? Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. Tucker Carlson demon attack.
You think you were attacked?
Yeah, here we go. This is he did it from this is good because it's got Megyn Kelly in it too. This is here you go.
You think you were attacked by a demon. And
I have to tell you, like a lot of people mock this, they roll their eyes, but I look at like what happened to Charlie, what happened in the wake of Charlie, what happened at the Ascension School in Minneapolis, where that man went in there and shot a bunch of little children praying at their church school. And
at their church school. Also, didn't go in there, shot through the windows from the outside. I mean, it's kind of important, but it's an important detail. Also, doesn't require demons, horns, tails, sulfur, smoke, goat legs. It's just a person doing something evil.
I challenge anyone to tell me there aren't demons among us.
Well, are the demons in the room with us right now, Megan? Are they? Are they also wearing a red dress? Are they?
Well, I never thought there were. I thought the whole thing was like bizarre.
Yes, thank you. Light applause for demons. Golf clap for demons. Let's little golf clap for the devil, everyone. Little golf clap for the devil. Listen to that one.
Among us.
Well, I never thought there were. I thought the whole thing was like bizarre.
So what happened?
Because like
Yeah, what happened?
culturally, I'm just not from a world where people are attacked by demons. And in fact, when it happened the next morning, when I saw the blood on my sheets, I was
like, that must have been quite an evening.
like, I actually called someone who works for me who's a very sincere, lifelong evangelical, and I'm like, have you ever heard of this? And she's like, oh yeah, it happens all the time. And I was like, what? Not to Episcopalians, it doesn't.
Stuff it down.
Yeah, no, it was wild. Yeah, I mean, I'm not embarrassed at all, and I don't care if I'm mocked. Don't get anything out of making this up, and I'm not making it up.
But what happened?
Yeah, you kind
I had
of.
this crazy.
Also, yeah, you kind of do get stuff out of making it up. All evangelical grifters make like headway with that community and make money making up stories about demonic possession attacks or excusing their behavior based on the idea that a demon took them over. When the simplest possible explanation might be
It's fun to be Let's party like we're moving Buns and dongs and vests and thongs Whoa, I love that feeling Zipper hoods have got the goods Owie, owie, oh Buns and dongs and vests and thongs Whoa, I love that feeling Zipper hoods have got the goods Owie, owie, oh Boink, boink, doobie-doo You know what I wanna do Yay! Boink, boink, doobie-doo You know what I wanna do Basta!
So, I mean, it's another explanation. I'm not saying it's the answer. How would we know? It does seem like the most logical. And, you know, it's one of those things where if you're on our side of the aisle, it's nothing to be ashamed of. So you don't have to make up a fucking story to tell your wife that you were attacked by a demon when you're, hypothetically, when your scratches on your side and your shoulder came from a dude at a truck stop. It's just, you being you, boo.
The experience where I was in the truck with someone coming back from quail hunting.
Oh, shit. You know, you can only, Tucker, one thing I've never told you about, when I go quail hunting, it's exciting. You know what I mean? You're out there quail hunting and you're like, oh, just, oh, you know? You know what I mean? Oh, and you just get the, you dropped your duck call over there.
And I had all of a sudden we were talking about someone I despise. And all of a sudden I had this crazy empathy for the person, like really intense empathy, like I could understand why this person was doing these horrible things. And I said to the person in the truck, this is a family dispute, right? So I said to the person, maybe my brother, and I said, I think I know what's happening here. This person feels this way, that way, this way. And my brother goes, how did you know that? I said, I don't know. It just like, and my brother goes, I think like God is like.
Are you getting like empathy or something? Should we pull over?
Speaking through you or something. And I felt.
God is speaking through you. You've never said anything even bordering on forgiving before.
Total, true empathy for this person I truly hate. It was like the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. I have no idea where it came from. My brother's like, I think that's from God. Like, there's no way you can. I was like, wow, that's kind of wild. So then I get home. We have this huge dinner party, which we always have dinner parties.
Always. Yeah, yeah. You know, poppers.
And I forget about it. And I'm telling you this because they're twinned. The one leads to the other. I had this profound
I'd hoped so, because the first story is really boring and easy to figure out. And then the next one is just hinky.
experience with God, like profound and beautiful and unexpected. And then I go to bed with my wife and 4 dogs who sleep in the bed. My wife said 4 children.
Yeah, you could also never get scratches on your body from dogs in the bed. That never happens, ever.
My dogs are hunting dogs. All 5 of them wake up like that. Like they are, we have no home invaders in my house. I wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I check and I couldn't breathe at all. My throat was closed. It wasn't like
It's called sleep apnea. Yeah, a lot of people experience that. And so the best thing you can do when that happens is to, in your underwear, run out and get in your truck and drive to the nearest truck stop and drink a half a pint of Jim Beam. I've just heard this. This is from Tucker's cookbook.
I was apnea. I was strong as I couldn't breathe. So I get up. I stand in the doorway of our bedroom, and I'm like, wow, I'm dying. I can feel myself starting to gray out. And then...
Gray out.
And I started walking in the backyard, and then it slowly came...
Sorry, wait a second. So your wife, you didn't wake your wife? You can't breathe, and you just... I don't want to... Is she that grumpy? So, sorry, you can't breathe. You're graying out, but you never... The dogs have left, are running around, are barking and shitting, but she's still asleep. Did you check for a second that maybe there was carbon dioxide in the house and your wife had already passed out? You self-involved piece of shit.
Back, like my throat kind of opened up a little bit. I was like really weirded out. I walk back in, and my wife wakes up. She goes, "What is going on?" I said, "I don't know."
I don't know. I was just left for a little while you were asleep and came back at 2:30 in the morning.
I can't breathe. I feel better now, and all of a sudden I had this horrible pain underneath my arms, like on the side of my chest, like bad. I thought I'd been like ripped with a knife or something. It just was very intense. So I go into the bathroom, I flip on the light, and I have claw marks on both sides.
Like, so let's say if someone was behind me, I'm standing like this. Let's say I'm just spitballing. So I'm leaning over like a sink. And somebody is behind me, hypothetically, hands on my rib cage, and they're in a motion somehow. Something is pulling against my rib cage like that, and then they also put a hand on the shoulder. Perhaps I'm just saying that maybe that's one of the ways that scratches could occur in those 2 particular. Did you check your knees? Right.
On right and left side on my ribs.
Well, all demons are symmetrical. We know this.
And they're bleeding. And they're literally claw marks. 4.
They're literally not.
4 on either side. I put my finger.
That's what it. Yeah, demons have 5 claws. You wouldn't have 4 claw marks. That's a fucking. That was, you obviously got fucked by a bear. That was just bear sex. I see. Okay, yeah, because demons have thumbs too. So you would have these claw marks, but you'd also have the positioning thumb so that it could get a better angle on your poop chute. Sorry. Oh no.
Don't fit my fingers, and I sleep on my side. So how could? And by the way, no one woke up, so I show my wife.
You were in the yard for an unclear amount of time after a dinner party. Was everybody else gone? Except the dudes that... All right.
And she's like, oh my gosh. And then I have this like crazy intense desire to read the Bible. So I read the...
Where's the Bible? Where's the part about... Why are you going to Leviticus about man lies with another man? No reason. Go back to bed. Oh man, should I lie with... All right.
Bible, and I pass out in like 2 minutes, and I wake up the next morning.
Really? You were bored by the Bible? Pitiful.
And I thought, man, did I have a wild dream? And then I see blood in my sheets, and I go in the bathroom, and I have these bloody marks. And my wife goes, I think you were attacked by some supernatural being. And I was,
Yeah, that's what I would have said. Yeah, that's me. It's amazing how they all immediately go, I think, yeah, must have been, sure, honey, whatever you say. God damn. Occam's razor. I wake up, I thought, how's it blood all this shit? I think you were attacked by a supernatural demon. Or maybe you have a fungus and you were scratching your own sides in the middle of the night. Yeah. What do you go? It was a unicorn. 100%. That's why you're bleeding from your butthole. It got you right with the horn.
was like trying to be logical about it. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Logically. I mean, what else explains it? 5 dogs in the bed, nothing could scratch you.
It definitely was. And then I called one of my producers who's like, oh, yeah, well, that's pretty common. I was like, what? And I've had a couple other experiences.
It's not common. It is not common. Even amongst evangelicals and Baptists who believe in this stuff, it's not common.
Is not that crazy, but where you really feel God's presence, which is marked by peace and true empathy.
And then as soon as you get a whiff of that, the devil's right there with his evil schlong.
Love for other people, which doesn't come naturally to me. I'm kind of
clearly
a dick, obviously. But you know it when God is acting through you. And
no, you don't. No, you don't. All it did, it occurred to you that there might be another angle in this apocryphal bullshit family story, by the way. A family story. It was a family dispute. You were giving a family member who was being an asshole the benefit of the doubt in something. This is not like you picked some sort of stranger. This wasn't an epiphany about Ilhan Omar.
And they're followed by some wild attack.
Yeah, immediately. As soon as you do anything nice. That's why I don't do it. That's why I stay a prick. It's the only safe. Yeah. It's the only. Ruben says $500 says he's lying. I think that's how much it cost him.
Why? I've had a couple things. It's just like, well, anyway, I'm not an expert on this. I'm hardly a theologian. Of course, I would never pretend to be an expert on anything. I can only say what happened to me. It was 100% real.
No, it wasn't. No, you don't even remember it happening. You have scratches and you're mistelling the story. And everybody in your family immediately jumped to, it couldn't possibly be that you were fucking your cousin who was, drunk on whiskey sours like the last time he was here. It couldn't possibly be that. You must have been attacked by a supernatural, is that what we're saying, guys? Supernatural being? Yeah, yeah, totally. Logically.
And it completely changed my view of the world.
Well, what did you learn?
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. You're still the same asshole. It's like he was visited by the ghost of Christmas past and went, you know what? Fuck Tiny Tim. For real.
From your conversation with Lou Strobel, who wrote a book on the supernatural and who also wrote The Case for Christ. Many of you guys recommended that book to me, and it really was amazing. And Lee Strobel came on your show in September.
Yes.
On his new book, which is about the supernatural.
Yes.
It's about miracles. It's about angels. It's about
and then you invite him to a dinner party, and he's sleeping on the couch, and then you wake up with weird scratches and strange fluids in your bed.
Demons. It's a great read. But
it is. It's a great read. I mean, it's obviously horseshit, but...
Was there something in there that spoke to you?
Everything about it. I mean...
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that you have a doughy, porous, Swiss cheese fucking brain, and you were drinking when you read it, and you're so self-involved that you don't even keep track of who you're fucking around with.
I grew up in a church, I'll just admit it, with shame, in the Episcopal Church, where all the supernatural stuff was taken out. And at a certain stage in my life, I was like, why am I going to church? I love hanging in bed with my wife and dogs on Sunday morning. Like, why am I? And we were ties to church. Like, why am I doing this? There's nothing in here that's like, be nice to your neighbor. Okay. Like, if it's not supernatural, then what's the point?
Yeah, who wants to be nice to their neighbor? What kind of an asshole turn the other cheek? What kind of shit is this? Gay? Like, that's what he's talking about. Like, You just mean it wasn't exciting because they weren't talking about demon possession. You're responsible for your own fucking behavior.
And when I read the Bible, it's like it is about the supernatural.
Yeah,
like that's
it
the
is.
whole story.
It's true.
Yeah, it's a great ending. Very shocking. Very surprising ending.
It's like God intervenes supernaturally, bigger than, above nature.
Right, that it's kind of part and parcel of the whole God thing. Except that part where he sends his son down to earth and his son has to intervene as a physical human being.
And that's why it's different from every other book. And the New Testament,
Yes, they do love this vampire demon shit, clearly.
especially, is filled with Jesus casting out demons. I literally didn't know that. I knew there was the crazy guy in the cemetery who broke his chains, but I didn't really realize that not only was Jesus, but also the disciples were casting out demons that were possessing people and causing them to hurt themselves. And as someone who had, a drug and alcohol problem, like I know kind of that weird, I've seen it a lot in others also, that weird.
Mainly you've seen it in other people, right? Not in yourself. You had a drug and alcohol problem, but you had the good kind. Not the kind that poor people have, so.
Desire to harm yourself?
By the way, there's a reason they call it his demons. He's fighting his demons.
It is totally real because.
Yes, he was fighting those demons. He just couldn't he just had to go back and dress up in a skirt and pretend to be a lot lizard at that truck stop about 16 blocks from house. He was just, the demons had a hold of him. And by demons, I mean truckers.
Ultimately, evil, we always think of evil as like something that like diabolical people do to gain, like I'm screwing you, I'm killing you so I can take your gold.
Right, yeah, like Trump.
But what we never acknowledge is true, which is evil flows through people and destroys the people. Not just the victims, but also the person through whom it flows.
Yeah, I think we're pretty clear that that bad behavior, evil behavior often does consume the person that's doing it. I mean, some people, don't get me wrong, like Don Jr., for example, enjoy it and are proud of their behavior in that regard. But other people, normal people, are often consumed by guilt, but some people call it. You might not be familiar with that concept, but it's a big one in human beings.
People who are possessed by evil are themselves destroyed every single time. And of course, I've lived a life, so I've seen a lot of that. And now, in retrospect, I understand what it was. And so much of what we experience is from outside of ourselves. We are acted upon constantly by the spiritual realm. And Lee Strobel just affirmed what I was beginning to realize.
Or, hear me out. And I know you probably wouldn't let me come to TPUSA and talk about this. Or, we are responsible for our own behavior. And regardless of our religious and spiritual beliefs, we have a responsibility to make restitution for the wrongs that we have done, not because of our souls will be consumed in a lake of fire afterwards, but because other people didn't deserve the shit we did to them. I don't know, it just popped into my head. Ah, boy, I don't know. I think God's talking through me. I certainly hope a demon trucker doesn't show up in the middle of the night.
Which is, we are the subject of massive supernatural influence all the time. And
yes, I would argue that your show is a great example of a man consumed on all sides by evil.
Every other civilization
Yo sado numspa.
and from the beginning of time has acknowledged this and written about it and left artifacts that point to that.
I'm sorry, Numsi. I'm sorry. Key, Dr. Hong, I'm sorry. Officer, arrest me. I should be purged. I should be flogged. I do not deserve to walk among good people. I have wronged my brother Numsi.
That belief, and only in the last 80 years have we just foreclosed that possibility, and we've embraced this, the dumbest religion ever created, scientism, which is like, oh, I can't measure that. It's not real. Oh, shut up.
You tell him. Man speaking to a microphone that was obviously a gift from God that just fell out of the fucking sky. Stupid science. Scientism. By the way, one of the big problems on the right now is this kind of bifurcation between the libertarian atheist movement and the religious right. And thank you for spotting what movie that was, Infinite Asylum. I do too, as well.
Yeah.
Right. That's like insane, actually. When you
No, it isn't. It's how everything works on the Earth plane.
say it out loud, but that is our state religion. It's mandated, by the way. If you don't
No, it isn't.
believe it, you can't serve in high office. You're mocked. You're literally disqualified from professions.
No, you're not. You need it to operate in the world. If you don't believe that, then you would be of such a religious bent that you would not run for earthly office anyways. Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, stupid.
If you don't embrace,
which is the actual quote, I would like to say.
Scientism, which is like the fakest thing ever invented. Like I would always, like as a kid, study.
It wasn't invented. You made it up. There isn't scientism. That's not a thing. I mean, what he's talking about is skeptics.
These weird religions, I'm like, that's insane. Nothing is as insane as scientism.
Scientism isn't a thing.
And so once you discard it, and you're like, yeah, it's nice to measure things in a lab. Is that the sum total of truth? Obviously not. What is true? Then you realize, like, holy smokes, the spiritual battle is totally real. And
I can make up anything I want.
We are the subjects of it.
Yeah. And that's great because anytime I do something that gets me in deep shit with my wife, I can go, I don't know. I just met this guy. Obviously, a demon overtook me and gave me an erection.
That will lead us to UFOs.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, back to where we were with Dimpool saying how much he loves Tucker Carlson, right?
This has gone beyond psychotic. It is what it is. I like Tucker. Tucker's allowed to have different opinions than me, same as many of these lefties that I know. And I think Ben was wrong to criticize Tucker in the way that he did. But Ben has also a lot of opinions that aren't the same as me. This is junk. All of this is nonsense junk. The space is devolving. It has devolved.
You do realize it's not changed at all, right? The space has not devolved. The right has not shifted. There's not been a schism. They were always going to reach this point. They were always this full of shit. They were always at this contradiction, but they buried the hatchet temporarily because they thought they had a common enemy. And they thought Donald Trump would be the savior of both their causes equally. And then he didn't do any of it. And he just feathered his own nest and patted his own fucking pockets and continued to be a creepy fraud. And then suddenly you guys are waking up to it. But it's hiding it from yourself and lying to yourself is the part you can't stop doing. So that's what this fighting is about. All this paranoid bullshit back and forth is a distraction from calling out Trump for being Jeffrey Epstein's fucking pedophile boyfriend for 25 fucking years. And you guys going, I can look at anything but that. I will dig around the death of my friend and pretend his wife had something to do with it and there was this great conspiracy beyond things. Just anything so that I don't have to look at the fact that Donald Trump was Jeffrey Epstein's running buddy for a quarter century. For real.
I'm not interested in Candace's retardation psychobabble. If this is what the MAGA movement and the political movement on the right
always was,
becomes,
always was,
I am not interested, nor will I seek to in any way be involved with whatever any of that is.
I'm sure you'll be sorely missed. Well, you're definitely not going to get invited to TPUSA next year.
It's bad enough this country is split in half with...
It's not. It's not. The crust thinks it's the pizza, but the rest of the country actually gets along a lot better than people think. This is what happens when you live your life entirely on shitter.
Wacko leftists wanting to give kids sex changes, and now we have Candace, and she doesn't represent the right, I know, but...
Yeah, she does.
Now you've got this weird... There's
nothing weird about it. There's tons of people on the right that totally support her.
We're working on this card game.
Are you? Is Russia paying for this too? Is this how they're funneling money to you now? You gotta, you want to start another product that you can sell because this fucking bullshit story you've been telling everybody is collapsing?
We're trying to figure out, is she left? Is she right? Is she establishment? It's like, she's something new because she has a bunch of women that are liberals who watch her, but she also has a bunch of...
Since when?
Weird conspiratard anti-Israel people who are so blind they...
You mean Tucker?
Can't see their own hands in front of their faces, but they live in this world. And I got to be honest, I think it's algorithmically generated in a lot of ways. There's no reason YouTube should be propping up Candace on the front page.
Well, she's getting the views.
More sane and rational voices do not prevail against...
Hey, tell me about it. You've got 1.8 million subscribers, and you've never said a thing worth listening to that you've stuck to, I guess, for more than a day. I guess even in your broken clock moments, you managed to break the clock in a new position. I got 87,000 subscribers. So you want to talk about who YouTube is deplatforming and lowering their viewer count, even though I've got, 16 million watch hours at this point? And my show hasn't been on nearly as long as the rest of these assholes? You think they're siding with some sort of left-wing agenda?
Candace feeding red meat to a bunch of retards. So I have no interest in playing games.
In not using the R word all the time?
Games, playing nice, whatever it is. But for now, on our final day of the year...
For now's meant to be you and me. Sorry. Every so often, and whenever somebody says for now, I think of the Enough's Enough song, which I love. I'm just saying.
I think there's good news coming at the start of next year. Working on some big projects, but
oh yeah, huge.
I am just so wholly disgusted by this community. You know,
yeah, your friends and the people that you have been listening to for a long time, and
my crypto friends, we don't have any of this. We don't. I mean, maybe there's.
Well, you do have something though. Hold on, that's not fair. Obviously, you have something in the crypto world. What is it? Let's see, real quick. I just want to throw this in. Let's see. Oops. What's the current? Okay. Here's. Let me show you what. Little Dim Pool and his buddies, and their Don Jr. fan club, all have in common. This. Legendary hedge fund analyst warns Bitcoin is headed towards a 1929 style crash. Analyst draws comparison between Dow Jones in 1929 and crypto index in 2025. Bitcoin and the broader crypto market have been through the ebbs and flows typical of any market. Most market participants believe the current crypto crash that began in October this year is similar to the 2018 or the 2022-23 crashes. However, there is one analyst who believes the crypto market is headed towards a crash similar to Wall Street of 1929. Now, why would that be? Well, because Don Jr. and Eric Trump and Donald Trump decided to get into the crypto game. And part of how they did it was by investing a shit ton of money, other people's money, through themselves. And then, of course, getting everybody who was defrauding everybody in the crypto sphere and pardoning them. Mike McGlone, senior commodity strategist at Bloomberg Intelligence and former chief strategist at the Lyford Fund, recently compared the Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index in 2025 and the Dow to the Dow Jones Industrial Index in 1929 and wondered if we have already hit peak Bitcoin. Ultimately, Black Thursday struck when the New York Stock Exchange crashed on October 24th, 1929. It marked the beginning of the Wall Street crash of 1929, or the Great Crash of 1929. It wasn't that great. But what industry did you decided you were going to get into is going to be awesome, Tim? What was that industry again?
You know, my crypto friends.
Ah, yeah, that your crypto friends. Yes, you know what you should do? You should take everything you make on your show, which is mazillions, including the Russian money that you were given for doing fake commentary videos that never were meant to see the light of day, and then you take that and put it all in crypto right now. Come on, shit or get off the pot. Like, live and let die. Let's do this.
We don't have any of this. We don't. I mean, maybe there's drama there. I don't see it. My poker buddies, my skateboard buddies, like we don't deal with this level of retardation.
Well, because it's over poker, stupid. Somebody died. Of course there are going to be strong feelings around it. I don't understand this. All the other shit I do that doesn't really matter somehow is like not starting fights amongst people the way stuff that kind of should matter, like life and death.
And here we are now.
Oh,
here we are now.
Here we are. Just the three of us.
So, yeah, Candace basically saying Ben killed Charlie. Sure. The funny thing about this post is it literally reads against herself, right? Let's replace Ben with Candace. Every time
he did this with the other tweet too. Like he just swaps out the other. It's like this is his new rhetorical trick.
Candace speaks, I feel more certain she is involved in 9/10. She's just way too invested in Charlie's murder. She never liked Charlie, and she's now suddenly pretending to have a duty to defend his legacy. She only cares about her own interests, so she must be involved. See, the thing is,
that's so easy. Like the rubber ball glue system. It's rubber ball wins again. Okay, glue loses.
I will say this:
you're a glueser
again, and I love that Candace just won't say anything about it. Oh, she has no problem doing these weasel words like I never employed the same security as Charlie. But let me just say a couple things.
Oh boy, spill the tea.
Candace Owens absolutely was secured on more than one occasion by the same people.
Yummy.
That secured Charlie. I'm being very clear here because she's playing this game. She's like, I never employed them. Oh, right. Because your company did, or an associate did, or an organization did.
Yeah, like the Daily Wire hired the same people and she never hired them on her own. Why is that weird?
Get the point.
Yeah, I don't actually.
She has used the same security, and she might make the argument that she didn't pay them directly. But when you have event security that's catering both Charlie and Candace, she's lying. She's weasel words.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going. I don't know that this helps him at all.
Let me take a look at every time she speaks, I feel more certain that she's involved. Bro, she was going around telling people she hated Charlie Kirk. She hated him. I've seen the texts.
Have you? Why don't you show him then?
And I don't know.
I know it's a thing. Some dude. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Like at this point, fucking, I don't know. Should we like just, I think I'm gonna start a card game and do some skateboarding and stuff because this is this is the thing. I don't want to be part of the. This is.
I never want to force people.
So that's why you've never been invited on Rusty Trombone's show.
Say things that they aren't saying publicly. But it is what it is. There's a line. And I think these people should come out and say it because these are high-profile, prominent conservatives. And I think for the most part, they're just trying to avoid being in the fray of this. Nobody.
Well, if it's just her, who gives a shit? The problem you have is it's the audience, asshole. It's a huge audience. That's the problem. It isn't just her. It's the crowd she pulls. And the crowd Nick Fuentes is pulling. And the fact that there is a tremendous amount of overlap.
He wants to have Candace point conspirators in their direction, screaming in their face about how they're secretly controlled by the Zog, the Zionist-occupied government. But what Candace is doing, she goes.
What's she doing? By the way, I can't believe I'm getting bored with this drama, but I actually am. This is so lame.
On her show and says, you need to give me money for security because the Zionists want to kill me, because she knows that there are people who are really dumb who will give her money.
Right. I mean, that's your business model too, so.
I'm so
and
uninterested in whatever this is.
Whatever. Like, I don't even care anymore. I mean, whatever. Like, what is this? Like, I don't even know why. What do we even care about anymore? Like, what is America's first, third, who cares? You know what I mean? And like, who cares? If he killed, she killed, they killed him. If he's dead and does it matter? Can we just move on? That's the kind of ethical anchor you need
Yo, I got to be honest. I would rather be working in a steel mill.
Well, congratulations on your last show.
Or at the airport than be party to whatever these
2 places where you're not actually qualified to do any job.
Degenerate scumbags are doing. Now,
says the guy who was paid by Russia to do fake videos that were never going to air just so that he could spout anti-Ukraine shit for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
As for Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson, no, I respect them. I do. Ben Shapiro denounces Tucker Carlson as conservative fraud at America Fest conference. Ben's wrong. He's completely wrong. I certainly think there's issues with Tucker that I would criticize him on, but like Megyn Kelly, simply criticizing a thing they did one time does not mean
I see, right. He's done fraudulent things, and he keeps doing those fraudulent things, but he's not a fraud. That's sort of a permanent state. He's like a broken fraud clock. He's fraudulent twice a day. Every hour on the hour. But in the minutes in between, when he's sleeping and not having sex with demons in the turlet.
Have issues with their body of work, and they're certainly allowed to have the opinions that they do. I think Megyn Kelly has overall done a really fantastic job. She does a great job, and Tucker
fantastic job.
Carlson as well. Tucker Carlson has this thing where he's like pretending he doesn't know people he's interviewed. Like Tommy Robinson is a great example. I think Tommy's great. And Tucker was like, I don't even know who Tommy Robinson is. Like, who's that? And it's like, bro, didn't you interview him like 2 or 3 times? I don't know. So I don't know what that's all about. And
that's called being a fraud. I don't know why that word just like popped into my head, but maybe the Lord is speaking through me. Now I'm afraid to stop at a truck stop and drop trow, which you should never be afraid to go to a truck stop and drop trow.
Megyn Kelly demurring or deferring to Candace Owens when Ben mentioned that she was saying Erica. He said, Ben Shapiro on stage says Candace Owens has said that Erica Kirk was involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk or something like that. And Megyn Kelly was like, I don't listen, so I've not heard that. And it's like, dude, I don't care. Listen, here's another thing.
Dude, bro. Also tard, also bro. Bro. Just listen.
I don't care about. Candace Owens' audience is like largely female, and it's all drama bait, emotional stuff. And
yeah, chicks.
She gets offended when I say that. I don't care. There's truth, there's reality, and I'm not interested in this stuff.
Well, then don't talk about it.
At least beyond this, I guess. This is like the straw on the camel's back. I got to be completely honest. Quote, today the conservative movement is in serious danger, not just from the left, that all too frequently excuses everything up to and including murder. The conservative movement is also in danger from charlatans who claim to speak in the name of principle but actually traffic in conspiracism and dishonesty, who offer nothing but bile and despair, who seek to undermine fundamental principles of conservatism by championing aggravation and grievance. These people are frauds and they're grifters, and they do not deserve your time.
I want the knife, please. I said, I want the knife.
While acknowledging that Carlson was also scheduled to speak at the conference later night, the Daily Wire co-founder said comments such as Carlson were guilty of cowardice, for staying silent as Owens spread conspiracy theories regarding Turning Point USA co-founder Charlie Kirk's assassination. The fact that they have said nothing while Candace has been vomiting all sorts of hideous and conspiratorial nonsense to the public square for years is just
damn
cowardly. What Candace represents is not the right or the moderate right or anything like that. She represents the crackpottery. Now it's
the crackpotteria.
Are crackpots who overlap with these other communities, largely conservative, but
yes, a lot of conservative crackpots. That's right.
The people
That's right, Alyosher. Absolutely.
At Turning Point, they wouldn't go there if they actually thought Candace was right about Turning Point killing Charlie Kirk. Candace is lying to these people because they eat it up, right? Find a group of people that hates another group of people.
Well, then don't defend her. Like, why would, again, this goes to why Tucker wouldn't go. I've already covered this. Like, why the fuck would Tucker go if he's defending what Candace Owens is saying when she's literally saying Erica Kirk participated in his death.
Will blame them and say that insert
and that she took Jew money to do it.
Group of people is coming after me. Please give me money. Congratulations. You've got every grifter on the face of the planet throughout history. That's what Candace Owens is doing. All right. Our duty.
Good luck with that.
To provide.
He said duty.
You evidence means we actually have to do more than just ask questions, Spiro said. Just asking questions is something my 5-year-old does. And it's really cute when it comes from my 5-year-old, but when grown men and women spend their days just asking questions without, seeking answers, they are lying to you.
Oh, look, somebody's been listening to my show. Hi, Ben. I'm not going to apologize about the eyebrow jokes, mainly because they're more about Jesse Waters than they are about you. But
in fact, they're doing.
Also, your show looks like an asshole talking out loud in a Starbucks while reading shit off his laptop. And you're a $1 million organization. Just, I don't get it. Just, it seems like you're code switching to suck up to the podcast crowd, acting like you're bootstrapping it. And when you're sitting on a set.
Something even worse.
Does Tim have pink eyeshadow on? No, I just think he's delicate.
They are seeding distrust in the world around you, and they are enervating you in the process.
Uh-huh.
Indeed. I am not at all interested in any of this stupid.
It's weird because you've spent fucking how long? Like, besides every other day, you've got a 26-minute clip, just a clip from the show about this. And I'm ready to move on. I'm bored by his shit already. All right, one last thing. Yeah, this is the... Where is it? Here we go. So, again, look, I don't think Jimmy Dore is going to get invited to Timcast anytime soon either. Candace ends Piers Morgan. By the way, Piers Morgan still has a show. So, hasn't been ended. I'm just saying. I don't want you to get too excited.
And what I love about you and I sitting down is at this exact same time last year, you were doing the same weird questioning and making all these things when I said that they were committing a Holocaust against the Gazans, and then you changed your mind.
Actually, this time...
I'll see you next year when you change...
He did change his mind.
Well, that's because the battle went on past a certain point. In the beginning, it seemed like they were actually doing something, and then clearly Trump got in and let them off the chain. And the reason why last year Israel may have been more restrained is because the Biden administration was making them be more restrained. And then as soon as Trump had his meeting with Netanyahu and it was clear that he was elected, they just let loose. And that's why it's different this year than it was last year. There was, again, the only difference between the deal that Biden put forward and the deal that Trump allegedly already, eventually made was 10 more months of bombing. What were the details different about the return of hostages, the stages, the moving around refugees, Hamas dismantling and disarming? All the same. What was the difference? Trump let him bomb for 10 more months. He didn't change his mind. The circumstance changed.
100%. He was 100% wrong when she's exactly right. So Piers Morgan, the perennially wrong about everything until it becomes okay to be right about it.
Jimmy's, I guess, still smarting about not being invited on the show.
Is attacking Candace Owens about doing journalism, which is...
No, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen it. We'll watch what he's doing. But I'd also go that you side with Candace, so anybody questioning what she's saying, you're going to assume that... and by the way, she's not just asking a question. She has a tip line where people who say that they met the brother of one of the guys from Turning Points USA at a diner near a military base in Arizona the day before he was killed.
What
right.
Piers Morgan, I don't think, has ever done. And he's...
Well, that's not fair. Piers Morgan is the scumbag that was, I think, he was the editor at one of the newspapers that released, they found that dead girl's phone after the bombing in the subway in London, and they sent text messages to her parents from the phone. Yes, and that's right, Janelle. Yes, Janelle. Okay, good. Janelle Spinoza. Okay, it's all run together. I don't want to mispronounce some of the names, but yeah, he's wearing his jacket again because Candace is on the show. Anytime he sees Candace, he puts
really
his jacket
garbage. I really
He's crushing on Candace.
can't get over this. He's wrong about everything. He was wrong about Russiagate. He was wrong about COVID, 100%. He was wrong about the Ukraine war, 1,000%. And now he's wrong about.
Well, nobody's 1,000% wrong because it's percent per 100. There can only be 100 of 100.
Charlie Kirk's assassination. And so for some reason, Candace Owens continues to go on his show. I don't know what that reason is.
Ratings, because she'll show up at the opening of an envelope for the same reason you would if he asked you.
But let's watch.
Why? What is your theory?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
what's
know.
your theory then? You must have an idea.
My theory is that we should investigate everything strange that happened on that day so we can figure out what happened.
But are you suggesting that? Are you suggesting
why is everybody
Egypt?
Why are we pretending that we don't know why we ask questions? Like why? Like you're a journalist.
But you
know
have a
what this
theory.
is. You're like, what's going on? What's going
your
on? Why do
theory?
you want to know why these planes were tracking Charlie? Well, my theory is that we are being sold absolute Fed slop. The media is doing their Operation Mockingbird Part 2 scenario by telling us, well, unless you absolutely have a conclusion, you can't even ask the question. Yes, we very well
But it
damn
may
can.
be, Candace.
Keep asking consistent questions until we get a clarified explanation for what happened on that day. And right now, we have nothing, okay? And that is the reason why people are watching my show.
Why is it? Okay, here's real quick. Okay, the part that sparked this, obviously, was the Egyptian planes that were allegedly following Erica Kirk or following Charlie Kirk, or Erica Kirk was flying on behind Charlie Kirk or some shit like that. But there was a plane that went after it, and then she was off by the time zone by the plane arriving and leaving 2 hours later. And secondly, I think the biggest question you should ask right away, if this is an issue for you, is how many planes from Egypt enter American airspace and fly around in general all the time? And then, how many of those are tied to political action committees or other places where funding is going? Because what you might find is that this isn't about a murder, or this isn't about, like a government plan or something like that, as much as it's about Egypt paying people to lobby on their behalf. And the way they do that is by, giving free plane rides and money and gold bars in the case of Menendez to people that they think can either sway the message, lobby the message in their direction, or actually pass bills to help them. But one of the things is, if there's a plane from Egypt that's flying behind them at these two locations at some point, the question is, how often has that plane ever flown to that location without them ever before? That you'd look that up first, right? Oh, Candy Anderson, thank you so much. Right? Does that not? Wouldn't you ask that question right away? It's a thought.
I'm the only one not treating them like they're absolute idiots who don't have two eyes and who believe in magic bullet theory and who understand that Egyptian planes should not have been tracking Charlie even 3 times this year would be an anomaly, okay? They've been tracking him. We don't know where it's going.
Also, tracking him, he was on tour. The dates were published. This is like the Google thing. Like, they Googled Tyler Robinson the day before. Like, what is your theory that they picked the assassin out of the fucking phone book the night before?
Candace. But we are going to keep asking questions until we get clear.
Piers, why not just do the show by yourself? Why do you bring her on if you don't want her to actually give information to your audience?
Because he's challenging where she's getting her information from, or the purpose of just continuing to ask nonsensical questions. You can chase down every detail, but if the details aren't pertinent to the actual circumstance and you're elevating them, it's like if you were asking repeatedly, like, how many times was the grass mowed on the grassy knoll? Is it odd that there was a crew there mowing the day before and they did not cut back the bushes? Now, I've never checked to see if they've ever cut back the bushes before, but it seems a little strange that you've got these gardeners all around the grassy knoll, but the hedges, they didn't touch them. They didn't cut them any lower. They didn't prune them back. They just left them alone. All they did was mow the grass. That doesn't seem weird to you? And you're like, well, I don't know why that would matter. Well, if you had gunmen hiding in there, then, and obviously the gardeners were working with them. Maybe if we get a list of who the gardeners were, then they made the gunmen cut their own grass to make sure that their nest wasn't shown. See what I mean? Like, you can chase down any detail about any of these things just to further the idea that there must be a conspiracy. And you're never responsible for if it's a dead end or it goes nowhere. Yeah, exactly. I beg your pardon. I did forget that part of it. Sorry. Maybe they had to cut their own grass. How about that? Huh? What do you think about that? Maybe the guys from the grassy knoll, are part-time gardeners. I mean, think about what the plumbers did with Nixon. Were any of those guys actual plumbers? How come we never found that out? How come we never checked everybody with a monkey wrench in the air? How come there was an inordinate number of monkey wrenches in the hotel across from the DNC headquarters? Why has nobody ever... Right, you can chase down any detail you want and make it look like, someone's hiding something if that's your goal. So the reason he's asking, and I don't like Piers Morgan, he's a dickhead. But the reason why you go like, what's your theory, has to be like, why does this detail matter at all? Even if they were following him around, maybe they were kissing his ass. Maybe they were flying staff members around and trying to suck up to him. Maybe they were expecting him to be president in a few years and they wanted a piece of that. Maybe they wanted him alive. Maybe they were worried that there was a plot against his life and this was the dude they were backing. Also, since when are I know this might be because the Egyptians are are the most blockaded, by the way, part of the Gaza Strip. Let's be clear about that. There are two countries that block Gaza, right? And Israel is the only one where people are allowed to go back and forth for work. Egypt, you're not allowed. That's completely shut down. I mean, it's obviously where the Muslim Brotherhood has a bunch of fucking tunnels and all that kind of shit. They do it in secret, but you're not allowed to, you're allowed to drop stuff off, but nobody's allowed out. So the Egyptians must be, they're even worse against the Palestinians than the Israelis are, technically, in this situation.
That is so effing annoying.
Yeah, that's because you don't do interviews. No one's allowed to push back. That's how it should go. And you should welcome it. When you go on a show and this is like when Trump bitches about newspaper reporters and calling them piggy and saying that they're fake news and all this stuff. Asshole, if your story is any good and you've got the facts on your side and you're the great communicator, you pretend that, you tell everybody you are, then why can't you answer the questions? Why you got to be a bitch about it? Why you got to be such a weasel? Answer the fucking question. Dunk on him. If you're that smart and you've got it together, then enjoy the pushback. It makes you look better if you're right. The only reason Jimmy whines about it is because Jimmy can't take pushback. I mean, his whole show is a circle jerk.
Why not let her speak and then you speak after her? Why do you have to constantly try to talk over her? I know why. Because
you don't probably have a crush on her and you wore the same jacket I did and we had a phone call. And we both read that thing that she loves blue jackets and you wore a blue jacket, I wore a blue jacket. And now what?
Because you're bad. You're a bad journalist. You're garbage. That's what.
You tell him, Jimmy.
Candace, it may be that the person in the media spewing bullshit to the public is you.
No, nice try. It's not. It's
Could
you
be.
By saying, why are you asking questions? Don't you worry about Mikey's feelings? Everyone knows what this is. And like I said, because we have the example, the concrete example of
No, I mean, you should be like, even that question. The person that's full of shit could be you. You could, I know, that's why, I hope people test what I'm saying. No, I'm not full of shit. Just go, you're welcome to think I am. Please check out what I'm saying. When I'm wrong, I will admit it, but everything I'm right about, I will continue to push for. These are really these are bunts. He's pushing back on this shit, but not in an untoward or painful way.
After JFK's assassination, the media members quite literally being put on the payroll of the CIA. We have a historical example that we can look at and go, we're not doing that again.
The papers have all come out. There was no big ta-da. I know everybody wanted to believe this giant conspiracy, but all the stuff that's come out, you're like, no, it's pretty much was a lone gunman, actually. That's how it played out. Sorry. It was way more exciting before we had all the information.
No matter how many times you keep telling the public that I'm spewing bullshit, it is only because there has not.
Oh, by the way, he didn't say you were spewing bullshit. He said maybe you're the one that's spewing bullshit. If there's people spewing bullshit, it's a possibility it could be you. Therefore, room to defend your position, not get defensive.
Been anything that has come out of this investigation that makes any sense that the public is not listening to. I am sorry to say this, Piers, people like you. And what I love about you and I sitting down is that this exact same time last year, you were doing the same weird questioning and making all these things when I said that they were committing a Holocaust against the Gazans, and then you changed your mind.
Actually,
So, Piers,
this time,
I'll see you next year when you change.
He did change his mind.
Yeah, we covered
100%. He was 100% wrong when she's exactly right. I wish I had that clip in the ready. I have that clip because we covered it.
You read your mind first, okay, before it's popular. You wait until it becomes popular, and then you change your mind.
He always does that. It's like, so when he finally switched on Gaza and was willing to tell the truth about it, I'm like, oh, so now it's profitable for Piers Morgan to tell the truth about Gaza. Before...
No, last year, Biden and Harris were putting more controls on Israel. They wanted more, obviously, but once Trump got in, all those went away. They completely took the reins off of Bibi Netanyahu. They didn't hold him back at all, and because of that, the killings ramped up.
Wasn't.
Also, by the way, I'd like to point out that all three of these assholes have never mentioned Sudan at all. I mean, maybe Pierce has done a segment on it that I haven't seen, but I haven't seen any of them give a rat fuck about Sudan because it's all black people and no Jews are involved.
How it is.
But Russia is, and so is the UAE, so you don't go there.
Now he will. Or maybe he's just that stupid. But he's on the wrong side of every major issue until it becomes untenable for him to be on the wrong side, and then he comes around to the right side. Now, I don't know if he ever came around to the right side on Russiagate. He finally did with COVID.
Anybody who calls it Russiagate is selling something.
A little bit. The Ukraine war, a little bit. And now he's back. But he's wrong, demonstrably wrong.
Also, by the way, this guy telling Piers Morgan that he's wrong on Ukraine, when Jimmy has had on Scott Ritter, a twice convicted pedophile, to defend Russia and their war of choice against Ukraine. They chose to invade. There were no plans from Europe and NATO to attack Russia at any point, expansion or no expansion. Again, 1997 Russia-NATO founding agreement. Go read it. Russia signed off on anybody wants to join NATO. We don't give a shit. We don't expect war, and nor should we expect it, nor should we care. And whatever, Finland has a bigger border with Russia than Ukraine does, but all of a sudden it's okay for them to join NATO, but Ukraine does it, and that's an existential threat to the fucking country. Get the shit out of here.
On all these things.
Ritter's not just a fraud. Ritter is guilty of at least attempted child sexual assault that we know of, because he got busted twice trying to fuck underage girls. Yet another reason why I'm sure he loves taking trips to Russia.
And he's demonstrably wrong about this. He's sitting here shaming someone for doing actual journalism.
She's not doing actual journalism. She's hyping conspiracy theories and mixing it with facts and unknowables. She's using unfalsifiables as evidence.
Nothing in this story makes sense.
Sure it does.
Nothing. And of course, that's why he has to try to talk over.
Also, by the way, I don't care that they're chasing this part down. They can think this all they want. Knock yourself out. You're only eating your own. This is ridiculous. And it proves that you guys can't actually govern or work shit out. The idea that the reason why we're as divided as a nation as we are is because these are the kind of people that think they are indicative of the electorate, and they can't get it together.
Over her.
So anyways, you're a dumbass. All right, I'm going to let him go because I've held you guys over, and I appreciate it, and I thank you for your patience and your viewing tonight, and you're great, and it's fantastic, and you're wonderful, and like and subscribe and give a thumbs up, and please subscribe and just subscribe, will you? Let's get over that 100,000 number. We can do it. We're going to. And we're going to raid our dear friend Tara Devlin. Yes, after this CSL, can we do that? Appreciate it. And I'm going to bug out right now and I guess start feeding Epstein stuff into the... that's an awesome GIF. I'm going to feed the Epstein stuff into a large language model and sift through it. Yo sono numsi. All right. And I'll play the Golden... and then I'll watch the Golden Child afterwards because I'll need a break. By the way, yes, the opening song to the Golden Child is my theme song. You'll understand why and Summer will tell you, it's my alarm in the morning. Just letting you know. Go look it up. I'm sure CSL knows. All right. I wish I could play it on here, but there's all sorts of rules about that. Okay, I'm out. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And I will see you tomorrow for a Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide. Excellent. Merry Christmas.
Uncle Joe is drunk by 5, and Marie can't let it slide. She brings up the will again. Christmas with these assholes again. Cousin Bill forgot my name.
Thanks, Steeler.
Still insists
Thank
we
you, Andrea.
play charades. Grandma's glare
Agreed,
could
Don.
pierce your skin. Christmas with these assholes again. Oh, the eggnog spiked, the tension's high, the turkey's dry as sand. But I'll survive, just smile and lie. It's Christmas with these assholes again. The carolers sang, but Dad slammed the door, said he's had enough of their cheer. The dog ate the ham and then threw it up, but hey, that's just this time of year. Sister Sue brought her new fling. Mom pretends to like the ring. She whispers he's just like the last 10. Christmas with his assholes again. Oh, the lights are dim, the insults fly, the pie's been burned to ash. But I'll survive just one more night. It's Christmas with these assholes again.